What's up, Doc?
It's content farming time. How's it going, Yeet? How's it going, Lightspeed? What's poppin'? What is poppin'? And yes, I will be reacting to things today. I'm starting my career as a React streamer. No, it's probably a good idea to read up on the lore, and we might as well do it on stream, yeah? I think I'll probably upload a video of sort of the supercut of the reaction as well. React to you. Hey, I haven't seen the videos before. I'm not even monetized. I can't even steal money from anyone. You might also want to make a supercut of the Ultrakill playthrough. I'll see if I can. I'm definitely gonna put a playlist together on the YouTube, but I guess it would make more sense for me to do a supercut that way. Although I have to go like download my fucking I have to go download the VODs. Nice. How's it going, Jordan? Alright. Let's do some of this first though. You know the drill. Okay. Plank. The first thing I think of is the exercise. Push up. A plunge is as well, I believe, and a crunch. These are these also all ab workouts specifically, like core workouts? But then there's also the calf raise, so maybe not. I guess push-ups work on arms mostly. They're not exactly core. Um, ads. Oh wow, you have a fucking I need a I need an emote like that. All right, fry cook. Why does it feel like some SpongeBob shit? Crow's Nest and Jolly Roger are both related to like pirates. Cannon would also be on a ship, and I feel like a plank would be too. So maybe the exercises are a bait, and we're looking at stuff on a ship. Absence, deficit, um, pinch, and perhaps even a crunch or a plunge. That either of these could be related to like not having much of something if you're in a pinch, or if you're in a crunch. Doesn't work quite as well. It's probably pinch, but hello Rex, how's it going? Fry cook, chick flick, wireless. Calf raise, push up. Okay, so you do think it's still exercises. There was plank in here too, so we didn't select it at first, but if there isn't anywhere else for these to sneak in, it's probably just the yellow. Nope, it was a bait. I was right the first time. Damn. It was bait. Crunch, Kit Kat. Those are candy bars, right? Crunch and Kit Kat. But I don't know if two other push up is also like a candy, right? They're like popsicles, but what's the fourth one? Calf kit, fry, and chick. That works too. Calf kit, fry, and chick. Starting with baby animals. Good, good. Wrote 3,100 words. Still need again today, you mean? Or like as an extension of yesterday's conversation. Still need to finish up tomorrow with another 100, 200 plus citing sources. Honestly, citing sources was the worst part. Not because it's difficult, but because if they want a formally done one, it's a pain in the ass. Yes, we will be watching some videos about the lore of Ultrakill today, and then at the end, if we still have time, we will be playing some Ultrakill as well. Yes. 3,000 words each day. Yikes. Mm-mm. Alright. How's it going, Jaeger? Absence, deficit, plunge, and pinch is what I think of. Can you sing the lore of Ultrakill to the Lady Gaga song? Which Lady Gaga song? And also probably not. Crunch, pinch, absence, and deficit. Crunch and pinch, but not plunge. Okay, what are the other four? Push up, sports, wireless, and plunge bra? I'm not sure if wireless is, but it would make sense that maybe it is. Am not female, cannot confirm, but those sound familiar. Paparazzi is a good song. Honestly, there's a lot of like catchy Lady Gaga songs. Luckily, I mostly use just three sources. Quark has got to be an awful fucking starting word, but maybe one of these days is just gonna be the word, right? Q is basically a dead letter. We have an A. Point. Point is a good second one. Gets two more vowels out of there. Neither of those vowels either. Could just be an A and only an A. Um, SP start. SPADE. Spade. Nope, but it does start with an S. Probably an SH. SHA. Um, SCALP. Scalp. Could be it. Nope, not scalp either. We're running out of letters, guys. Swamp. Sharp. Can't be sharp. Could be swamp, though. Which I hate, but it probably is. Alright, global. Country, please. Country me. Get out! What are you doing in my swamp? DJ's mom's house? Okay, United States it is. United States it is. It's not the United States, but it's 6,000 kilometers from the United States, which is not super helpful. Greenland is technically part of Denmark. Greenland doesn't exist on its own. Jordan, the country. Ooh, there we go. I think that's probably too far away, but we're gonna guess it anyways. It'll give us a good triangulation. Okay, it's actually not that far away. So we're probably in Europe up here or Africa down here, somewhere along this line. Technically, Alaska is up here, so it could be even something like Russia, although Russia's too close, like somewhere over by Russia, though. Greenland is part of US? No, no. I did a funny study that showed that if you don't have a lawyer and you get sued, you lose 86% of the time. And if you sue someone without a lawyer and they have a lawyer, you will lose 90% of the time. Yeah, that's why they say you should always, because you're much more likely to just fuck up somewhere in the process. Like lawyers are as much really good at arguing as they are at just knowing exactly everything you need to do. Um, it will be soon. God, don't say that. Jesus Christ. What a stupid fucking idea. Morocco. Oh yeah, one too many R's, one too few C's. Looks like we are in Europe. How's it going, Hana? Haven't seen you around in a bit. What's good? Let's go like Germany. Let's see if we're going up or down. We are going up here. We're somewhere in Europe. Yes, it is. What? Such a dumb idea. Slovenia. Slovenia. Did I type it wrong? I thought I typed that right. My bad. Slovenia is 150 away. Okay, so it's not adjacent to either Germany or Slovenia, but it's close to both of them. What's good? Thank you for the follow. Scullyman. Slovakia. Slovakia. There we are. Yep. All decent guesses, but Slovakia it was. Spottle. We always start with Dave. Sorry. Until the day that it is Dave, we're going to be guessing Dave first every day. All right. We are... Slovakia is worse. Slovenia. Is that bias? Is that perhaps bias coming from you, Rex? Even though you suggested it to me
What's
like
up,
2 months ago, I finally launched it, even though it's been installed. Are we talking, what the heck? That was like 2 months ago, you're right. We talking about, Enfield? Arknight's Enfield. Okay, yeah. Have you been enjoying it? He says good. Be back a bit later, dinner time. Sounds good. See you in a bit, Rex. We're gonna do I don't know. It's not solo, it's a group. It's a top 400 group. Slipknot? You think Slipknot makes top 400? Maybe it does. Yeah, it does. I need more time on it though. Yeah, it's a game that I would honestly suggest you don't play like every day. It's a fun game to just play the story for. In Sync, Major Lazer. It's gotta be after 2004, so I don't know if it can be in sync. I want to say that they're early 2000s, right? Or even late 90s. Major Lazer. Is Major Lazer a group or solo? Vampire Weekend. I don't think Vampire Weekend makes the top 300, does it? Eminem, not a solo artist. Major Lazer is a group. Okay. Me, Shadow of the Colossus Pro. When you play, I will guide you to victory. Well, that's an interesting way to say you should play Shadow of the Colossus. uh, Major Lazer. I'm actually just interested in where they land. Oh wow, they do actually land in the top 150 at least. So we're not looking at electronic either. We are looking at in the 2004 to 2008 ballpark, around the top 100, but it's not a three-member group. Imagine Dragons. They might be too popular, but maybe they've fallen. Imagine Dragons. Maybe they've fallen off enough to be. Nope, not quite. Also, later than I thought. Jonas Brothers? Dude, there's no way the Jonas Brothers are top 100, right? Nah, no. I don't buy that. Oh, also a three-member group. Okay. If they're a three-member group, it can't be them. How could you? Well, at least check if they're on there. Okay. Yeah, they're in there. Florida Georgia Line. Ooh. We'll see how popular they are nowadays. Not popular enough. We're also not country. This might just be a pop group. 5-member pop group. Can't be 2, 3, 4, 1. It's got to be at least 5 members. At least 5 members. 2008 or 2007. Could also be rock, but it's I feel like it's more likely to be pop. Say the debut would be 20. I heard you guys are renaming Florida Airport. What? Is Rocket Summer popular enough? No shot. I've never even heard of those guys. Maybe they are, but I don't know who the fuck they are. No, they aren't. Uno Republico. One Republic fits the bill really well. Yeah, there it is. One Republic's what we're looking for. I've been losing sleep. That's them. The Cure might not have been the worst. They might be a little too old. Hello, how's it going, Kim? Prepare thyself? Oh god. Okay, Cure is too old. Okay, cool, 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 cool. Brother. Brother? Okay, we're gonna start with, yeah, we've got a couple more of these dulls here, and then we're gonna be getting to some of the actual lore of Ultrakill. Some people have kind of been spicing in the lore of Ultrakill throughout my playthrough these last few weeks, but just it's really just been offhanded one-off comments in the chat, so I'll be interested to see what a full length. It's a long video too, right? Like it's a 53-minute there. Tolls and gills. You know, we could do maybe let's see tolls. I think tolls will be a little too late. Yeah, for sure. Let's try like a P word in here. Oh God, poops. All right. That wouldn't be my first guess, but it is the first P word I saw in chat, so you guys can deal with the aftermath of that. What? Okay, so if it's not that, maybe we go like right, R-I-G-H-T. Quark again. Maybe it is. No, it can't be now. It can't be now. It's definitely an R word. Definitely an R word we're looking for. How's it going, Rice Ball, by the way? What's poppin'? You doing all right? Reach. Maybe we do like an early RE word. Reach. Nope, not RE. It's after RE, before RI. Resin, roach, can't be roach anymore. React, too soon after reach. Maybe resin could work. I'll try resin. There are quite a few RE words. Okay, that puts us right here on the line. We're looking for an RE, probably an RES word even. Reset. Reset. Yeah, feels like that fits pretty well. There you go. Very nice. We get it in 7 guesses. All right. 3 remain. The Blotroto's always fast. Oh God. If I leave here tomorrow, would you say that seems like song lyrics. I haven't. Yep, this is definitely song lyrics. I'm reading song lyrics right now, but I don't know what it said. Good Lord. It's, you know, it can actually be a little bit hard to figure out what song it is just reading the lyrics without having the beat behind it. Because, like, I've definitely heard that song, but just reading it there, I didn't recognize it until you said it. Okay, so common, probably $5, could be $6, could be Ride the Bus, could be Ride the Bus. Maybe it's Ride the Bus. It's Ride the Bus. We go next. The runner was a good idea though. Runner was a good idea. We gotta reset the Epstein files for today. All right, this one, for those who haven't seen this one before, we're trying to guess the title of a Wikipedia article. A bunch of stuff is redacted. You can guess any word you want. It'll unredact those words. All you need to win, though, is the title. Interesting fact, my uncle was good friends with the original Lynyrd Skynyrd band. Oh. Do 1976, you won't. All right, bet. You got one. Look at that. At some point, something related to this thing ended in 1976. I don't know if it's a dead person or what. Okay, it seems like there's a person involved with it, but it's not a person we're talking about. There's a lot of instances of he, but they aren't related to the first paragraph. The best seed in Balatro is Alib. Alib is a pretty goated seed. I actually did find a seed naturally that got me all of the legendaries. I think that was shit. How long ago was that, guys? That has to been like 8 months ago at this point that we saw that one just naturally. Yo, I'm joined back in a bit for Ultrakill. Hold on. See you in a bit, Logan. Baskerville, Riverdale, why Baskerville? Why would we start that specific? Cardinal directions, north, south, east, west makes a lot of sense. North, south, east, west. Yeah, if you're super interested in seeing it, my YouTube I think I have a short of it on my YouTube channel. Sadly, I can't play Ultrakill because my PC is a plug-in, not a laptop, and I'm in Florida. Oh, does it like overheat or something? It just doesn't, it can't handle it. Dude, this computer is goated and it almost can't handle that shit sometimes. The frame rate drops so much. I was reading a manhwa related to Baskerville? Damn. That's... Huh. In Florida for vacation. Oh, word. I'm also in Florida, but not for vacation. Okay, let's focus up for a second here. Let's focus up. The blank is a blank 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 with a blank of, okay, maybe a city. This could be a city. It's not a city, but you read manhwas, DJ? Yeah, I read some manhwas. I read webtoons and such. I read a couple of manhwas off the webtoon website, but Boston population. Okay. Boston has a fair number of mentions. The Boston blank blank. Is this related to sports at all? Not exactly. I know what it is. Marathon? Ah, that's why you went. Okay. So if I were to say type in Greece. Yeah, okay. It's a marathon. It's a marathon for sure. I know where I could get my handshake now. I've told people what state I live in before. If you had been desperate enough, I'm sure you could have gone back and looked at my VODs and found out that I live in Florida. By the way, you can P-rank. I have heard as much, and I also don't think I'm good enough to do so. But we're going to start with S. We're going to start with S. We're going to work our way forward from there. What happened in 1976? Oh my god, you're so right. In 2016, Running USA estimated that there were approximately 507,600 marathon finishers in the United States, while other sources reported greater than 550,000 finishers. The chart from below from Running USA, citation required, provides the estimated U.S. marathon finisher totals going back to 1976. B ranks ain't that hard, it's just S rank without deaths. Okay. Is doing a lot of heavy lifting there. Alright, Spyrdle. This is the last one. Last dull, and then we're gonna see some lore, because I don't know what the fuck the lore of this game is. Mm-mm-mm. Prime boss the best to P rank? Hmm. I think I should start with just like the first level, right? I tend to actually do better against like the normal fucking enemies than I do the bosses. 1.14 V2. Honestly, dude, I got my ass kicked by V2 for a while. Shield and Fireball. Fireball? Fireball. Fireball? Fire. We'll go with fire breathing. It's not an uncommon, it's not a power, it's not one cost, it's not ironclad, it doesn't have anything to do with statuses or curses. The V2 speedrun strat is goofy as fuck. Do you like freeze him in place? Oh yeah, we're also gonna be watching a speedrun of someone going layers 1 through 8 today as well. For me, Ultrakill lore is cool as fuck, robot kills the demons in really cool ways, TM. Defend, dagger throw. Dagger throw is one cost, isn't it? Dagger throw is one cost. Coin. Coin? I mean, I could go just lucky, that's relevant. There we go. You gonna play today? Just watch. I should be playing as well after we watch some. You just coin punch bro in his cutscene and he dies before he can even shoot a Okay. Fan of Knives, wrong game. Rare skill. Also, Fan of Knives is technically a power. 2-mana block card. It does have blocks, so that is pretty likely. It is Watcher, so it could be Scry only instead of block, but I don't find that very likely. Better mention the YouTube video you watched, DJ. Oh yeah, of course. Though to be fair, I mean, of course I'm gonna give credit, but like I'm not monetized on YouTube anyways, so it's not gonna matter one way or another. Is there 2-mana Scry? I don't think so. Protect is 2 cost. That's true, and it has but it's not rare. It needs to be. Oh, this is a common. Never mind. Silly me. I didn't realize we got that right. Protect is right. Wah, wah, wah. Do you hear how loud this shit is? I can barely hear myself think when this goes off. Why is it so loud? Get out of here. All right. So, we're going to be watching this is Linguini and Lasagna's channel. No way, no way. Hana, he's saying he's gonna go take a shit. That's it. That's all it is. Because coin punching increases the damage taken exponentially, so you could just coin punch the same coin like 5 times. Oh, wow. No wonder you can one-shot him then. It's a good vid, by the way. Yeah, we've got a completely blind reaction. I'll try not to pause too much because the video is so long. Let's see, we got subtitles.
In the beginning,
oh
there
no,
was
it's
nothing.
auto-generated.
Until God created the heavens and the earth. No, this isn't a video about Christianity lore. This is a video.
Is the audio good for everyone?
Ultrakill, if you somehow don't know, is a retro-inspired movement shooter created by R.C. Hokita Patala.
Yep.
I definitely pronounced that wrong. I'm not finished, don't sue me. Because Ultrakill is inspired by many
launched in 1.5x. Nope, low audio.
Devil May Cry. Ignore that. The point I'm trying to get across is that Ultrakill isn't the kind of game to have much of a story. Booting up the game, there's no opening cutscene, no dialogue. The most you get is this startup screen that's not much more than a fun way to make the initial setup screen feel like an in-universe thing. Other than that, this is very much the kind of game where you open it, get a gun, and just go.
Yeah, you definitely gotta find
stuff
yourself.
To talk about story-wise with a game like Ultrakill, and if you don't go looking for Ultrakill's story, you can very easily miss the vast majority of the tale this game has to tell.
All of it, honestly.
Ultrakill tells its story through having surprisingly rich lore told to the player through environmental storytelling, flavor text, and books scattered throughout the game. Usually, it's up to the player to put the pieces of this game's puzzle together, but I know that many people aren't willing to do that. So instead of having the incredible lore of
Yes, do it for
me. My attempt
Yes,
to
do it
explain
for
the
me.
entirety of the lore within Ultrakill, go over some theories, and talk about a few of my own personal headcanons. Ultrakill is also, at time of writing, in early access. Currently, the final 2 layers of the game and the final Prime Sanctum haven't been released, so this story is yet to be completed. But with that being said, I will explain everything we know as of June 2024. Spoilers.
Yeah, for sure, Raceball. This guy, imagine, I know how long it takes to write scripts that are just a few minutes long. This shit must have taken a hot second.
I started this video by referencing the Bible. It's a niche book, you might not have heard of it. Ultrakill's story starts at the start of the book of Genesis, with God creating the heavens and the earth.
Not the fucking...
The heavens were made as
Freaky-ass hamster.
for angels to exist within God's light. God's light is an incredibly important plot point in Ultrakill, and yet, for such an important plot point, we know
Red
almost
Revolver
nothing about
yeah, I see
what
that now.
God's light actually is. We know it somehow keeps archangels alive.
I think the Bible counts as a niche
Gabriel
book, right?
Severed from the
I've
light,
never heard of it.
He only has a day to live. But we know nothing about what it is, how it works, and who can actually control it. Obviously, God can control it, but it's shown within the ending of Act 1 that powerful angels can control it as well. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's take it back to Ultrakill's story of creation. We don't know exactly when God creates mankind, but we do know that he quickly grows angry with the self-destructive nature of humanity. God decided to give mankind free will, with the hopes that humanity would choose the path of good and choose to assist.
Also, I will say, I'm not going to play this in 1.5x speed or anything like that, because then I'm not going to actually get anything from it. I am actually trying to pay attention to what's going on. Big War Robot Man made go to kill Rock Man, kill Sword Guy, kill Statue Rock Man, turn a hideous mass into dust, kill his cousin V2, kill Mino's dead body to make his dead body dead kill Angel Man. Valid, true. All true. I remember, I did that myself.
One another for the betterment of all. You and I are both humans, so I don't think I need to explain why God describes mankind as a failure and free will as a flaw. The testaments found at the end of the secret levels give us almost all of the insight we have into God's feelings towards humanity. God decides
we saw a couple of these
to their own devices and start anew with another world, another race of beings better than humanity, a race that lacked free will and followed God's law. Failure after failure after failure after failure after failure after failure after failure, the results refused.
He didn't read all of them, L.
Uncountable cycles of creation wasted, uncountable formulas for a mind without free will wasted. These testaments tell us very clearly
God with the skill issue.
He created countless worlds.
God fucked up, he's fallible.
Hell God. Will, and all of them fail. After failing to create a perfect world that lacked free will, God begins to lose faith in such a task even being possible. So in a fit of rage over humanity's continued survival, the survival of the one race left for dead, God created hell. And in an incredibly important revelation,
God really wanted to kill all humans.
God in Ultrakill is not omnipotent. He is not all-powerful. He is flawed, just like how humanity is flawed. Countless failures to create a perfect race threw God into a fit of rage where he damned man to an eternity of suffering for what is ultimately God's failure. The idea of a God that isn't all-powerful completely contradicts the typical ideas of many of the major world religions, and sets Ultrakill's God aside as a unique character rather than a stand-in for the typical notions of God we think of.
Yeah, that's fair.
This idea of a flawed God continues on and only grows stronger as the testaments progress.
Flawed God is a cool concept. I feel like it can be used more in games.
God has no answer. No matter how evil humanity may be, eternal damnation has no justification even in God's eyes.
I'll tell you something, okay?
The guilt of what he has done to humanity, the regret of not being able to undo what has already been done, eats away at God. God weeps over what he has done. He falls into despair. He loses all hope. He looks for a way out of the world he created.
Huh. Not only is he not omnipotent, he's just like, it just feels like he's some dude who just happens to have way too much power. Greek and Roman gods were very flawed, very personified. That's true, yeah. The Greek and Romans definitely looked for ways to sort of make un uncertain things digestible, like why storms happen. Oh, it was a god and he's just angry. You know, that kind of thing.
But in his eyes, he has only caused pain and misery for everything he has touched.
P1, you need to P rank Act 1.
Unfortunately, the terminals end there for now.
Okay.
The final terminal is not yet released.
And
but
not a very good person either, kind of a dick.
God. God is dead.
Oh, rip.
Or at least he is no longer present in this world.
Yeah, I did get that idea.
The Father's presence one day vanished from heaven, never to be felt again. The death of God causes panic to spread amongst heaven. A power vacuum to be filled once more, to replace the role God filled. But the replacement that
Which is why all the archangels are doing their thing, right? There's like a council, it seemed like. Ah, yeah. Seems I was correct.
The void created by God's departure was filled, presumably, quite slowly, as will become more apparent.
Seems like God's already got the Lucifer thing figured out.
What became known as the Council of Heaven. A body of an unspecified number of powerful angels that would carry forward the Father's light, lead heaven, and most importantly for the story of Ultrakill, ensure the husks in hell continue to receive punishment as usual.
Did you knock him off a cliff?
We don't know much about the angels of the council, but we do know that they command a huge amount of authority and respect among heaven.
I definitely got that idea.
How subservient Gabriel is to the council. As far as we know, Gabriel is by far the strongest angel across all of heaven, and yet even he
I didn't even know that was up there.
The council. I believe this is because the council somehow is in control of the Father's light. We still don't know what the Father's light actually is. We don't know how the council gained control over the Father's light, but we know that control over it essentially gives the council unlimited power over the citizens of heaven, and if angels don't follow the orders of the council, they will not hesitate to carry out executions in the form of severing the Father's light. I believe this is how the council maintains their grip on power, despite the lack of God's presence. The council ensure that those banished to eternal punishment in hell receive that punishment, and they send down Gabriel
as their
pawn to put down any perceived insurrection.
Ooh. Oh, you did punch him off the map.
The departure of God isn't just felt by the citizens of heaven. The sudden disappearance of God is felt by those in hell as well.
This
Angels
is the part I'm
sent
interested
down to hell to make sure that the damned receive their punishment quickly return back to heaven in the chaos, and for the first time in eternity, those in hell can breathe for a moment. King Minos ruled over the last layer. As the judge of hell, he decided what layer damned souls would end up going to. However, he always had some sympathy for humanity. Minos didn't believe that humanity should be punished for being lustful. He believed that loving one another wasn't a sin punishable by eternal torture.
Curious.
And he seizes the opportunity. Minos rebuilds the lust layer into a paradise within hell and builds
bro just made a sick ass layer. He was like, yeah,
citizens
my man, you're going to the lust layer. We got a sick place for you.
Took a long time. Building a city doesn't happen overnight, and yet the city of lust becomes a giant thriving metropolis. Of course, as we know, the council does form eventually. Of course, as we know, the council wants to make sure that those in hell receive their punishment. So of course, the council is not a big fan of what Minos has done to the lust layer. Enraged at the news of the construction of the City of Lust and the Lust Renaissance as a whole, the council decides to send down Gabriel to end the Renaissance by any means necessary.
Well, that's fucking rude.
Minos chose not to fight back. Minos believed foolishly.
Probably. Yeah, that's
Gabriel
probably
would listen to
correct,
reason.
Jordan.
Minos believed foolishly that Gabriel would ever listen to Minos' pleas about the plight of man. Gabriel cut Minos down without a fight.
So Gabriel's
The
kind of
death of Minos
complicit,
almost
although it seems
immediately
like he's
ended the
figuring
Lust
shit out
Renaissance.
now.
The citizens of Lust were once again subject to the eternal torture. However, this time, the decay of their hard work is now thrown on top of it all. Because of Minos' immense status and will, his death wasn't the end for him. What remained of Minos' soul
Tell me
began
something,
to form
Kai.
together in an attempt to create the first known prime soul.
Ooh. Everybody be sure to gift your prime souls.
When a person has enough will, power, and status,
Your
their
Amazon
soul
Prime
becomes
Souls.
powerful
TM.
enough to exist without the need for a husk. This incarnation of a soul is immensely powerful. Powerful enough to strike fear into the council itself. The size of the husk formed from a corpse of a person is directly proportional to their will and strength. In other words, if someone is strong enough to become a prime soul, their husk will grow to immense sizes. The council decides to kill two birds with one stone.
That tracks.
They rush to imprison the soul of Minos before he can form into a prime soul, so he remains harmless within the flesh prison for eternity. But they make sure to imprison Minos within his own husk. His husk that becomes infected and controlled with parasites. His husk that begins to destroy the city he worked so hard to create. The terminal entry for Minos Prime confirms
Looks
that
like something
Minos
out
is
of Risk of
fully
Rain.
aware of what his husk is doing to his creation. Minos is helpless within the fresh prison.
Well,
and
and
has
isn't
no
his
choice
husk,
but
his
to watch
prison
his hard
is,
work
though.
get torn to shreds by his own body.
Okay.
With the Judge of Hell dead, the council decides to make Gabriel the new Judge of Hell.
I think I get
With
it.
his newfound status, Gabriel would continue performing the council's will.
Hell is
and shutting
non-linear.
down
Yeah, we just...
any other
Okay, so we
attempts
just
at
happened
making
to
life
get to
better for those
gluttony
in hell.
through his
Whether they
husk.
do it through peaceful means like Minos, or whether they decide to take a different approach.
Or did we get there through somebody else's body? I know we entered into some dude's mouth to get down there.
The departure of God from the world was felt as deep down as the layer of greed within hell.
Greed!
Greed was another kingdom within hell, ruled over by King Sisyphus. Sisyphus was not a righteous person like Minos was. Sisyphus didn't care for the misery and the suffering of his people in greed. Sisyphus didn't really care about his own punishment. He found great enjoyment within the struggle, and with the departure of God, he saw an opportunity to fulfill his own selfish desires.
That's interesting.
The greed insurrection is portrayed as just that, an insurrection. An army of husks.
Yeah, I
of
do
greed
remember
led by
reading about
Sisyphus
his
on a mission
insurrection
to take
and then
down
he died.
heaven and the tyrannical council that rules it. But I think that there is a much simpler motive at play here, a much more selfish motive. I think Sisyphus spotted an opportunity to have some fun in causing a war. Sisyphus knew from the start that he was not powerful enough to take down heaven, and he certainly
Damn,
knew
he kinda thick,
his
though.
army was almost useless against the power of Gabriel and the angels. But Sisyphus didn't care.
So he just did it
He
for the
was
fuck of it.
bored of the eternal punishment, and he had grown to enjoy the futile struggle of it all. So when he saw the opportunity to do something new, to start a big fight, and to start a fight he knew he couldn't win, he took it. The insurrection swiftly caught the attention of the new Judge of Hell. Gabriel quickly went down to Greece.
Bro
to
just
stop the
picked a
war
fight
before
just
it
for the
even
fuck of
began.
it. That's wild.
Gabriel knew that taking down Sisyphus would cause the army to disband. Gabriel decapitated Sisyphus with ease, and the army disbanded almost immediately without their leader. Just like Minos, Sisyphus began forming into a prime soul upon his death. But
Okay.
something was different about Sisyphus. Minos formed into a prime soul because he dared to defy heaven and attempted to end the suffering of the people of lust. Sisyphus didn't just defy heaven, he actively sought to destroy it. The sheer amount of spite
So that's an actual
within
boss
Sisyphus
that one can
meant that
fight.
he
Is he
began
in one of like
forming
the
into
secret
a prime
levels?
soul significantly faster than Minos. He was significantly stronger than Minos, and he posed a massive threat to heaven. King Sisyphus had the will, but not
Hardest
the
boss
power
in the game
to
so far.
destroy
Fuck.
heaven. Sisyphus
P2.
Prime
Okay, so it is
has
one of
no
he's one of the
such
P levels. Okay.
limitation. His soul was not imprisoned within his corpse.
So you would have
like
to beat
Minos
all
was.
of
He
like
was
the
placed
like
in
3,
the
4,
flesh
and
panopticon
5 on P
2
rank,
layers down in
or
heresy
4, 5, and
to
6,
make
whichever
sure
it is.
he is as far away as possible. The power of Sisyphus' soul meant that the angels were rushed to imprison Sisyphus. By the time they finally managed to place him within the panopticon, he'd already begun to form into a prime soul, which is why he breaks out of the panopticon himself as soon as it gets slightly weakened. His corpse was strung up deep inside the pyramid he once used as a throne room. The location of his decapitated head
Did
is
we
a
see
mystery
that?
to this day.
I feel like we saw that. By the way, on Brutal, Sisyphus has 400 HP. I don't know how much that is, but if it's on Brutal, I'm gonna say that's probably a lot. Got a P rank prelude Act 1 and Act 2 and beat P1. Man,
Hell
fuck all that,
is
man.
alive.
Holy.
Hell is sentient.
Where you get the saga. Okay.
Hell is a living being.
So I do
that
remember
became
seeing it.
too strong for even God to destroy. How do we know Hell is alive? The enemies getting teleported to your location as you play the game is explained in-universe as Hell teleporting them to you.
Oh, that's
Just
curious.
to start a fight for entertainment.
Though you guys
The
have
doors
mentioned
locking
that,
behind you
right?
as you play the game is also explained.
You guys have mentioned before that like Hell is the one talking to you with that red text in the books.
Through Hell locking them to force you to fight for its entertainment.
True.
The enemy description of the Minotaur has a redacted section within it that consists of 2 words. The first word has 4 letters, and the second word has 6 letters. I don't think it's much of a coincidence that Hell itself perfectly fits this redaction. The husks in Hell that have mechanical augments, like soldiers and schisms, can also be explained by tinkering from Hell itself. Hell, being a sentient being, can learn of machinery by observing humanity and begin to incorporate machinery into its own creations to enhance them as fighting machines. This isn't the only case
Interesting.
of Hell observing humanity to create horrific ways to torment humanity.
How are these guys one-shotting
Humanity's
people by
creation of the
grappling and
Gutter
punching?
Man
Is that just how the
was such
shotgun
a
knuckles
horrific
do?
abomination that Hell took direct inspiration to create the mannequin by ripping apart sinners' limbs and rebuilding them from mismatching parts or trapping a soul within the new abomination.
That is a very violence thing
the
to
idea
do.
of humanity being capable of a creation so terrible.
Sisyphus Prime has
even
most
Hell
HP in the
looks at
game.
it and
Yeah, I saw
recognizes
that.
How
so you mentioned
terrible
that.
of a creation it is something I will get
That's
into
just
later. Hell energy is
I
the
can see why
mechanism
it's the hardest.
of which Hell does all of this. Like the Father's Light, we don't know exactly what Hell energy is,
You can do
but
some
we know
shit
it's
with the
used for a
green rocket
variety of
launcher.
different things. Teleporting in enemies uses Hell energy. Locking doors presumably also uses Hell energy. And it is my belief that Hell energy can be a replacement for blood as fuel. I believe this for a few key reasons found within the violence layer of Hell. In 7-2, there is a secret book containing a poem that I will go into much more detail later. But for now, I am interested in a single extract.
I did not see this.
I believe when the writer, which is almost definitely a gutter man, but again, I'll get into that later, states that they no longer need the fuel provided by the body inside of them, that this is because they are now being fueled by Hell energy.
They found something else to fuel
inside
themselves.
of the gutter men has decayed and rotted beyond the point of being useful anymore.
You can ball the
I highly
cannonball
doubt
via
that this skeleton,
whiplash.
after countless
the ones they
centuries
throw at
after
you?
the creation of the gutter men, is still producing enough blood to fuel these machines. On top of this, the machines of violence are simply too old to have made their way into Hell naturally like the other machines. The oldest known machine that made its way into Hell is the Sentry, but that was repurposed specifically for the Hell expeditions.
And this is before the fraud
Remember the
layer,
Hell
right? I
expeditions, they're
remember
gonna be
reading a few
important
things
later.
in the fraud layer
The Guttermen and Gutter Tanks were
related
centuries
to, like, the
outdated by
AI
the
of some
time
of
the
these
Hell
robots.
expeditions. And so the odds of this many surviving this long, making it this deep into Hell, seems
You
unlikely.
can dunk your own cannonball
What seems
to
more
hit him.
likely to me
Oh,
is that these machines
okay.
have been placed in violence deliberately by Hell itself, fueled by Hell energy, so they can continue fighting an eternal war without the need for fuel. Another piece of evidence I have for the machines in violence being powered by Hell energy is the fact that the Earth Mover requires sunlight in order to be powered.
What works?
But there is no visible sun this far down in Hell. So the Earth Mover must be getting some form of alternative power source, and it's my belief that these growths that tie the Earth Mover down to the floor are there to form a physical connection between the Earth Mover and Hell
Some
itself.
of this, yeah, I was about to
Provide a
say, some
large
of this
amount
is
of
definitely,
energy
like,
to
just
keep these Titans fighting, to replace
inference,
the need
maybe,
for solar power,
but,
to keep
like, it does
the
make
final war
sense.
from
I think I
truly
vibe
ever
with the
ending.
theory. We call it Benjamin, what, the Earth Mover?
The Final War is one of the most important and expanded upon events within the Ultrakill timeline.
For sure.
A whole layer of the game is practically dedicated to the Final War. This conflict lasted about 200 years and saw the first instance of blood-powered machines not just in the history of war, but in the history of mankind. The Final War brought humanity to its knees.
Yeah, this is when, like, pretty much everyone died.
The war
Yeah.
didn't end with a bang. It didn't end with a purpose. It simply fizzled out after the destruction it caused became too much for the war to sustain itself anymore.
Just fucking everyone died.
The
It's
Final
like,
War
okay,
is
we're
also
done.
based off a real-life conflict, one you've probably heard of. The Final War is
World
actually
War
Ultrakill's version of World War I.
Yeah.
Now, why
Okay.
would I make such a claim? Well, remember that startup screen I glossed over earlier? Right at the top, it tells you the version number of V1.
A date.
2112.08.06. It is known that the production of the V model of robots,
Probably.
the production of V1, was cancelled due to the war abruptly ending. It is known that the final war lasted for 200 years.
Well, that
The
would put
format
you... Okay,
of
yeah.
2112.08.06 is the same format of a date that tells us that the version of V1 we play as was made in the year
Yeah, so it started
2112,
2 years before.
198 years after the start of World War I. Another piece of evidence? The Gutterman's terminal entry tells us
The era
that
of
the
trench
Gutterman
warfare.
was used in
Yeah.
the first
Okay,
era of
I
the
believe
Final
it.
War, soon after it began. An era of trench warfare.
Benjamin.
What war in history is famous for trench warfare other than World War I? The Final War is a variant of World War I that doesn't end in 1918, one that escalates and escalates until the Earth itself can't take anymore. The Final War brought more than just the blood-fueled machines to the table.
So
All of the
humanity
heat and
just
electric
fought
weapons
until
you
everybody
and enemies
died.
using Ultrakill were developed for the Final War, as they became more powerful and more economical than bullets when fighting Guttermen. The Gutterman itself is a very interesting enemy lore-wise. It was the first blood-powered machine to be created by humanity, and as is with most new technologies, it was yet to be perfected. In the case of the Gutterman, this meant that researchers were not yet able to keep a self-sustaining supply of fresh blood circulating around the machine. The solution to this problem is the reason Hell was so intrigued by Guttermen. The solution to the blood supply issue was sealing away a live person in the back of the Gutterman.
That's what I was afraid
and
of.
siphoning away
That's definitely what I was afraid of. Was just like using live people, right? That's particularly gruesome. But that's usually how wars are, eh?
their blood to fuel the machine. These victims were kept on the brink of death to minimize
They
their
eventually
energy
made peace, but
consumption.
too late. Oh, you know what?
Not
Now that you say
quite
that, yeah.
dead,
With the Earth Movers.
either. Those locked away in the Guttermen claimed to be
The face's
willing
name is
volunteers,
Maurice.
heroes even, but in all likelihood, it would have been prisoners of war forcefully put
Why,
inside these
why are we
monstrosities
humanizing all
and
of
sent
these?
off
I guess
to
it has a
decimate their
face.
former colleagues. We don't know whether those inside the Guttermen were aware of what was going on outside of their coffins, but we do have evidence to suggest that Guttermen themselves became self-aware due to their blood supply.
Okay.
The terminal entry in P-2 suggests that the terminals gained their sentience due to the fact that they were powered by blood. It's not a stretch then to say that all blood-fueled machines gain sentience at some point.
Okay.
The secret book in 7-2 gives further evidence to Guttermen being sentient.
Named Dave or
the
something?
book doesn't have a specified author, but from
oh
the
yeah, I'm
perspective
sure it's the
written,
fandom that gives
it can
them the
be
names.
inferred that it is likely a Gutterman itself that wrote the poem. The poem is addressed to Mother of Me, and makes reference to pained breaths reverberating within an iron tomb.
The
We
one
know
in the
that those
back.
trapped inside the iron coffins and the Guttermen were still technically alive and would have continued breathing inside the Guttermen, but likely with great difficulty.
Right, because you're in a
The
tomb.
blood of your breast that nourished and warmed me only serves as further evidence to suggest that the author of this poem is a Gutterman. A Gutterman that has gained self-awareness and is fully aware that its own existence is fueled by the torture of its mother within its iron womb. The revelation of the Guttermen being sentient gives much more evidence to the assumption that all blood-fueled machines are sentient, that all blood-powered machines can think and feel. This is further evidenced by the fact that some
for
machines
sure, like
literally
V1
get
and V2 can.
enraged after you counter them in some way. They literally get mad at you as you fight them, which is a pretty funny
So that
way of
one's
making...
so that one in particular, Maurice, is almost like an in-game thing. You gotta read this actual poem sometime. It's pretty crazy. Okay.
enraging
Yeah, if
and
someone reminds
concept.
me next time in that level,
Reading more of the
point it
poem
out to me.
makes it clear that the writer, again,
Somewhere in
Clear Letter
Violets.
Man, has gained sentience because of whatever it's keeping it alive. It is aware that the person
Good.
keeping it alive would despise the Gutterman and wish it never existed, but simultaneously it is the torture of the person in the Gutterman that is what gives it its sentience. The Gutterman seems to feel sorry for the person that gave it life, and so when the time comes that the Gutterman no longer needs the tortured soul to keep it alive, it tries to make things right by crushing the skull of the person inside the coffin, ending their suffering once and for all. The lore behind the Gutterman, specifically, is one of the darkest and most expansive pieces of lore that Ultrakill has to offer. The more you look into these machines, the more you begin to understand just how terrible of a creation they are. Understanding how the Guttermen
That's War
makes
Machines
it
for
much
you.
more clear why even Hell itself would take notice of the Guttermen and attempt to replicate it with the mannequins.
And you know
After the
if
initial
people
creation of
had
the
this
Guttermen,
option,
blood-fueled
if people in power had this option available to them today, it would still be used, right? Like, we know that, right?
technology greatly improved, with the need for a
Cautionary
living
tales
soul
are
being eliminated
suggestions
from
to
later
people who it
machines.
doesn't affect.
However, the improvement of blood-fueled machines of war began a completely new phase of the war, one that would continue until the very end. The arms race had begun.
Ain't nobody designed mustard gas, right? Thinking, oh, this'll be fine.
Guttermen were incredibly powerful weapons of war, being airdropped into enemy trenches and clearing out entire trenches on their own, so the enemy responded with new and improved machine design.
Are the guys with shields also the Guttermen? Are the Guttermen both the shield guys and the missile launcher robot-y guys?
Counter the Gutterman, which was creatively named the Gutter Tank.
Gutter Tank. Okay, I've answered my own question. I could just keep
the
watching.
The Gutterman is most likely a Russian creation, as it has Cyrillic characters on its body, and the Gutter Tank has German letters on its body. Russia and Germany were enemies in World War I, so this just gives further evidence for the final war being World War I. Going back to the Gutter Tank now, the Gutter Tank kicked off the arms race portion of the final war, by designing a machine to counter the Gutter Men, the need for a machine that countered the Gutter Tank was suddenly needed. Then,
Okay.
a machine to counter that machine, and so on.
It's
and
an
so
arms
forth.
race.
We don't know much about what machines were made when, or even how many machines were created during the war, with us only getting small insights, such as the Sentry being a product of the war.
Mm-hmm.
But we do know that this arms race culminated in the creation of the Earth Movers.
That's the final, okay, the final boss of war.
The 1,000
Giant land
THR
tanks.
Earth Mover, also known as the Earth Mover, also known as Benjamin, no, I will not elaborate, is the pinnacle of the arms race.
It's Benjamin.
Developed at the end of the final war, these towering behemoths were capable of flattening entire cities in one go. These machines were so large that even the advanced blood-fueling technology this late into the war was not enough to power the Earth Movers, and so they relied on solar energy to fuel them. This is an
The juxtaposition is wild, though. Real talk. We will fuel our weapons of mass destruction with the living corpses of our men. And then they move on to the final product. Oh no, it uses solar panels. It uses too much blood, we can't sustain it. Solar is the future.
important detail, because the sheer chaos and destruction the Earth Movers brought upon this world caused a climate catastrophe due to how much pollution was put into the atmosphere from all of the destruction. All this pollution...
they care more about global warming than we do, and they've been fighting wars with human corpses for like 100 years at this point.
blocked out the sun across the Earth and led to the beginning of the Long Night. The sun was completely blotted out during the Long Night, and the surface of the Earth had sustained so much damage that it became uninhabitable for humanity. So humanity was forced to move onto the backs of the very machines
I guess
destroying the planet.
Too little too late for them too, eh?
With a huge energy shield to protect them from other Earth Movers. This, ironically, made the back of an Earth Mover the safest place for humanity to go in order to survive extinction. Because an Earth Mover was designed to completely counter other Earth Movers with its shield, the final frontier of the final war was also fought on the back of these titanic beings. While the Earth Movers were locked in a never-ending stalemate with each other, smaller machines used the bodies of the Earth Movers as the new front lines. This is where the V model of robots came into play.
Okay.
V1 was designed as the machine
so they
to
could
counter the Earth Mover.
Yeah, they infiltrate.
It's small, fast, incredibly efficient, and most importantly, it can
Ultrakill has mods.
by
Oh fuck, don't
absorbing
even
blood
get me
through
started.
a new experimental type of plating. I say that V1 was designed with a specific task of countering Earth Movers because of our encounter with
Does it have workshop support?
Upon stepping out into the war zone, the Earth Mover immediately changes targets from its counterpart in the distance to you.
Yep.
Instead of
you guys
aiming
mentioned this
at
one
the
to me.
Earth Mover in the distance and continuing the stalemate, the Earth Mover in front of you almost immediately turns to V1 and prepares to strike V1, leaving itself vulnerable to the other Earth Mover in the distance. What I'm getting at here is this giant machine that brought upon the end
but
of
it does
the
have
world
mods.
identifies V1 as a larger threat than another Earth Mover, which is why I personally believe that V1 and the V model of machines was designed
one of the easiest boss fights in the game, by the way.
Down the Earth Movers. However, the development of V1 was cut short by the sudden end of the final war. The Long Night is what ultimately caused the end of the final war, with the Earth Movers being reliant on solar power to stay running. They all slowly died one by one.
This is
With
canon,
the war
I believe.
being completely reliant on these giant machines.
All this? Yeah,
Humanity
I believe it.
didn't know where to go from that point. So the final war ended, not with a bang, but with it slowly fizzling out and extinguishing itself. There's a short book that can be found on the back of the Earth Movers we fight in game. There's only one page of writing.
I think I can do that for the easy levels.
Spaced capital letters, leading many players to assume that this book is written by hell itself.
Yep.
War no longer needed its ultimate practitioner. It had become a self-sustaining system. This line reveals how, by the age of the Earth Movers, the war no longer needed humanity to continue. Instead, the war had become nothing more than machines fighting other machines with little to no regard for the will of humanity.
And humans are just
Man
around
was
for the
crushed
ride.
under the wheels of a machine created to create the machine created to crush the machine.
Guy in YouTube chat is lying. You
Taking
need
this
triple
phrase
S, right?
literally, we
For
can
an
infer
S?
that mankind was not in control of the war past a certain point. It became more efficient to design a machine
I guess we'll get to see, eh?
to design machines for the war. Ultimately, the machine designing machines would get caught in a runaway cycle of endlessly designing more and more powerful machines to keep countering the machines designed by the machines. Humanity lost control.
You're describing an arms race.
at
Yes,
some
I
point,
understand.
which truly makes the final war a war without reason.
Okay, sounds good, Jordan. Stay safe out there. The new piece.
After the eventual end
Me
of
when
the
I get a
final
new
war,
gun.
humanity was forced to face the consequences of the past 2 centuries of destruction. The war may have been over, but there was much work to be done before the world could go back to any sense of normalcy. This period of time after the final war was known as the New Peace, and in direct contrast to the final war, this period of time was filled with humanity coming together in an attempt to overcome the destruction the final war caused.
Yeah.
Blood fuel technology was repurposed for a worldwide cleanup effort to try fixing the climate catastrophe and ending the long night. Despite the vast majority of blood-fueled machines being created during the final war, most of the machines we find in-game are actually products of the New Peace.
So some like
Street cleaners
hope after the war, and God's still got a chip on his shoulder, I guess.
were created towards the very end of the final war in an attempt to clean up the copious amounts of pollution within the atmosphere. The end goal of the street cleaners was to end the long night. It's unknown whether this goal was an attempt to make the planet habitable once again, or whether it was an attempt to prevent the shutdown of the Earth movers. But we do know that street cleaners were eventually successful in their task, and made obsolete sometime during the New Peace. Long-ish side tangent here, street cleaners are actually very interesting in the fact that they have the ability to vocalize to some extent. Vocalization for a machine is a strange phenomenon that appears to once have been experienced by all machines, but has since been discarded by many machines in order to save on resources.
Okay.
It is unknown what
So they make the choice
machines
to
being able
not
to vocalize.
communicate.
Perhaps it's a side effect of the blood fueling process. Perhaps it was simply programmed into the machines to assist them in wartime communication. Whatever the cause, only a handful of machines still retain any level of vocalization, and those that...
Well, he said that a lot of the machines gained sentience, right? So I don't know if it would necessarily be a coding thing so much as maybe a conscious choice to save on resources or not.
do still vocalize struggle to manage more than a few tones. Street cleaners, swords machines, drones, earth movers, gutter tanks, and potentially even gutter men and V1 all either directly vocalize or at least show signs of still being capable of vocalizing. It's unknown
That
why
was
these
not
machines continue to spend resources on this unique ability, despite the seeming shortage of blood driving the machines deeper and deeper into hell.
That was part of the video.
To stay fueled. Side tangent aside, humanity decided to keep using blood-fueled machines into the New Peace. Considering the destruction these machines brought to the world, it brings to question why humanity would ever choose to keep using these machines. But no answer to that question is given.
I mean, maybe it's just the only feasible
method. The
method.
technology behind the machines of the New Peace is directly derived from the machines of the Final War. The V-model series of machines was initially created as the ultimate wartime fighter, with V1 being designed to take down Earth movers, as I spoke about earlier.
Yeah.
But with the end of the war, V1 was left completely useless. Not wanting to lose their investment, the creators of V1 decided to repurpose the V model to fit this new peacekeeping role with the creation of V2. V2 was designed as the ultimate peacekeeper by taking the combat capabilities of V1 and putting them into a more durable frame, without the experimental plating of V1. V2
V1 did the same, and the quality is so low for V1 so they can save blood and efficiency for combat. Okay, that makes sense. Welcome back, everyone,
ultimately failed,
from the ad break.
just like its predecessor, as it was deemed too expensive for a single unit to be used for peacekeeping purposes. V2 was thrown to
Thus
the wayside,
V2.
just
Okay.
like V1, leaving only one of each prototype in the world. The V model was abandoned in favor of cheaper peacekeeping alternatives,
shit out of
like
one
the
of them.
drones and other machines that were either developed during the new peace or repurposed.
So then why are we in hell?
We don't know how long the new peace lasted, but we do know that at some point humanity was searching for a new source of energy to power their new world.
Yeah.
And during this search, humanity managed to discover the gates of hell.
Of
course, humanity's curiosity was too great to ignore, and the Hell expedition started soon after.
Is it really hard on brutal difficulty? Gotcha. So we're going down to hell to kill everyone again for more blood.
Humanity set out to explore this new world as soon as possible.
I'll fucking do it again.
To achieve this, humanity started repurposing old machines to scout out hell without risking human life. Street cleaners, drones, and even the old sentries were repurposed as scouts to lead the initial explorations into hell. To accommodate this massive exploration project, a large facility was built outside the gates of hell, which is later known as the prelude of the game. While we have no concrete confirmation that the prelude takes place on Earth, it can be assumed that V1 doesn't enter hell proper until it opens the gates of hell, which means that it's likely the prelude actually takes place on Earth in some capacity.
Okay.
After the machines had made their way deep into the depths of hell, humanity felt it was safe to start sending manned expeditions into hell to explore it in more detail and attempt to find a source of energy for use back on Earth. But humanity was completely oblivious to hell's sentience. Slowly, the expeditions began to run into roadblocks. Doors would inexplicably lock,
hell was like,
no
nah,
reason, trapping explorers and machines deep within the layers of hell. Then, unknown creatures began teleporting in and out of rooms all over hell and within the prelude facility. These creatures were hostile towards machines and humans alike.
Okay.
This, combined with the locking doors, meant that the hell expeditions became incredibly dangerous and casualties started to rise.
They don't seem
the P2
they don't seem particularly aggressive towards one another when I'm killing them both. In game, they certainly don't seem to be aggressive towards one another.
ARG gives us probably the single best piece of insight into what happens towards the end of the Hell expeditions. Hell observed humanity, learning from it. Hell observed the machines humanity sent into it, and learned from them. Spare parts and pieces of machines kept disappearing, and of course, you and I know exactly why this is. Hell was taking humanity's technology and fusing it with the souls of the damned to create half-machine, half-heart abominations like schisms and soldiers.
Okay.
The random teleportations and the locking of doors wasn't some sort
They're
of defense.
prioritizing you?
It wasn't even an attack. It was for entertainment.
Enemy of my enemy
With this
and
new
such.
revelation, calls begun to ring out to end the Hell expeditions, or it was too late.
We know nothing about
Before
Tom.
Hell gained too much information about humanity. But it was already too late. We don't know what happens next. All we know is, shortly after, humanity went extinct. There are several theories as to what caused the extinction of humanity. Some believe that there was some form of machine insurrection due to a lack of blood caused by the new peace. Some think that perhaps Hell itself took over the machines and either convinced them or
Common
directly
humanity,
controlled them to exterminate humanity.
Honestly, nah, we're
Hell
on
itself
humanity's side
directly
here, knowing
caused
that
the
God's
extinction
such a
of
bitch
humanity.
in this world.
In some way, was it using the path created by the Hell expeditions to access the surface? There isn't any concrete evidence for anything regarding the extinction of man at time of writing. All we know is, for sure, that the Hell expeditions sealed the fate of man and led to the mass migration of what remained of the machines into Hell. With no life left on the surface, there was no person left to defeat.
That one's on my side.
They had no choice but to enter Hell.
To override aggression from V1 with machines and the Hell beings because of... Okay. I see. Part 9. V1's
The main
descent.
story of Ultrakill follows the only prototype V1 model known to be in existence,
Yeah,
as it descends into hell on an endless quest to kill everything it sees and make sure it has enough fuel to survive. V1 is shown to be much more capable at combat than every other machine, due in large part thanks to its experimental plating that allows it to refuel and repair itself on the go. V1 is in fact so good at making its way through the layers
the game
of
would
hell
be a lot harder
that
if
it
you couldn't
catches
heal.
the attention of Gabriel himself. Gabriel confronts V1 in the gluttony layer of hell.
You can blame
where he
Logan for the pipe drop.
commands V1 to cease its descent into hell and return to the surface.
Machine, turn back now.
There's a mod for that? No thanks.
Of this palace are not for your kind. Turn back, or you will be crossing the will of God.
The will of
course,
God.
V1 ignores this command, and so Gabriel confronts V1 directly, planning to dispatch of the machine the same way he dispatched of Minos and Sisyphus before.
Your choice is made. As the righteous hand of the Father, I shall rend you apart, and you will become inanimate once more.
Okay.
But V1 was
Extra
different.
ass.
V1 is the culmination of the Final Wars arms race, a machine created with the specific task to take down an Earth.
Imagine turning gore off.
Gabriel
If you turn off gore in the settings, you stop healing. That'd be crazy.
no chance, and his defeat caused him to explode with rage.
What? How can this be? Bested by this thing? You insignificant fuck! This is not over!
I love that. You insignificant fuck. So is Hell learning the reason that they are able to create those clones of Gabriel in the later layers? Is that because Hell has learned from him in the few times that he's been down there?
Assume that V1 is one of the only machines Gabriel confronted directly, since so many machines are found in layers deeper than Gluttony, which leads me to believe
the fucking weird clone dudes you see in the fraud layer that are kind of like Gabriel clones. They use very similar attacks. Is that just like a different Archangel, but there's like a bunch of them? Why do they all sound the same? Are they not clones? You fight like 80 of them. I mean, not that many, but close enough. Powers are his students, but they are all the same one, or there's a whole bunch of them that all just happen to sound exactly the same?
that Heaven took specific notice of V1 and its destructive capabilities and felt the need to act.
Yeah.
When Gabriel returned to Heaven with news of his defeat, the Council delivered incredibly harsh punishment, putting to use their absolute control over the Father's light. They collectively decided to sever Gabriel's connection to the light as punishment for his loss.
Which is
The
silly.
Council hands Gabriel a simple ultimatum. Defeat V1 or he will die within 24 hours. This enrages and humiliates Gabriel and makes him obsess over the destruction of
Sons
V1,
and students.
not only to restore his
They are
life,
his disciples,
but
there are multiple. Okay, so we're killing an Archangel each time. Or a student of an Archangel. I don't know if that's just an angel or what, but fun fact, in the Gabriel fight, Hell looks at Gabriel, but in the power fight, it's looking at V1, showing that Hell is looking for the most entertainment. Oh, so it's picking sides. It's probably taking bets.
also to restore his pride.
Just greater angels. Okay.
V1 continued its unstoppable advance down into Hell, even overcoming and eradicating its successor V2. V2, as I mentioned earlier, was
V2 Part
supposedly
2?
an upgraded version of V1 with a more durable design to better fit the new piece, but its peacetime design proved to be no match for its wartime predecessor. V1 was designed for the war, within the war, to end the war, and its triumph over V2 solidified V1 as potentially the
07's for
single
V2?
strongest machine within Hell. Gabriel decided to wait
Play
down
Fraud
the
before
heresy
watching
of
the
hell
other videos.
to once
Spoilers are
again
mid. Oh, I've
challenge V1
beaten Fraud.
and attempt to stop its advance through hell.
We beat Fraud.
Gabriel's monologue before his encounter in 6-2 reveals that the rampage of the machines through hell is causing individual layers of hell to go extinct.
I'm pretty sure the first time you stopped by our stream was when we were beating Fraud.
All gone, with gluttony soon to follow. Your kind know nothing but hunger, purged all life on the upper layers, and yet they remain unsatiated. As to you, you've taken everything from me, machine, and now
That doesn't seem
all
right.
that remains is
Everything?
perfect hatred.
Bro, I think that was
By
kind
the
of
time
your own
V1
doing.
reaches Gabriel and Heresy, both Limbo and Lust are completely void of all life, with gluttony on the brink of extinction. Hell was not designed for machines of war. Hell was initially strong enough to keep the machines under control and even use them for entertainment, but I wonder whether at this point in the story, even Hell has lost control of the situation unfolding within it. After V1 and Gabriel's second encounter
Bro's just
with
too
Gabriel
good at
being
killing
defeated
shit.
for the second time, Gabriel is forced to come to terms with the fact that he might not be able to defeat the creation of man. Forced to come to terms with the fact that he may die. Gabriel sits there, by the fire, deciding on what he's going to do next. Gabriel
I was
decided
here, I just
to
forgotten
take
about
his
Fraud.
death into
Nice.
his own hands
No worries.
and send a message to heaven.
You just punched him to death? That's impressive. I don't think I could do that.
The council hall is stained with blood, and the screams
Maybe if
of
I
the
threw my
councillors
body at
one
him
by
enough
one
times, I
get
could.
cut short. The last councillor begs and pleads for his life, reminding Gabriel that without the council, he will soon die. Gabriel is already aware of this. He has come to the realization that...
Bro, you can't threaten him. You just threatened to take away his powers and kill him. Like, you can't be like, oh, if you kill me, you'll lose your powers. It's like, yeah, no shit. You already did that. So, like, let's ball, right? Like,
God isn't coming back, and that this world is coming to its end. With one final swing of his sword, Gabriel ends the tyrannical reign of the council and seals his own fate.
got him. It's a pretty well edited video as well. Part 10. I think this is the last part. The other two videos are much shorter.
Throughout Ultrakill, there are several different terminals spread throughout each level, and on a surface
Not the
level, they do
random
nothing more
join the
than
Discord
in-universe
down
way
here.
to show the player important information and menus. But these little boxes are much more complicated than meets the eye. These machines are alive, they are sentient, and they are bored. Most of the information about the terminals comes from,
What is your
ironically,
purpose?
the terminals at the end of the Prime Sanctums. This
You
means
switch
that
around my
we are
weapons.
missing at least 1/3 of the data about these terminals, but already, with just 2 terminal entries, we gain a lot of insight into the purpose of the terminals. The terminals were initially placed within Hell to assist with the Hell expeditions. They serve as a method of reliably transporting items through the different layers of Hell via radio waves. The original item is lost and converted
That doesn't
into
make sense, but
information
we'll let it
before
slide.
being received and reconstructed by another terminal.
They do be bored.
The only known item to be transported this way before the Hell expeditions were cancelled was a vinyl record. The song that plays whenever you open up the terminal in game. The terminals use this music to lure machines towards them for reasons I'll get into shortly. They're only known to play an instrumental version of the song, but rumour has it that they are able to play the vocals when alone. Shortly after the end of the Hell expeditions, better communication equipment was developed, and mankind managed to briefly remake contact with the more advanced machines. It's at this point that the revelation that the terminals are made
They couldn't get the
sentient
rights to
is
the
made
song with
clear.
lyrics.
The terminals are bored sitting in Hell, and so they seek entertainment,
No.
The terminals lure machines using their music in order to trade with them. The machines, in return, record their adventures throughout Hell and their fight for survival. The terminals will then watch the recordings for entertainment and grade the recordings on how entertaining they are. This is potentially the style meter that appears in the game. The terminals developed a crude social hierarchy based around how
they
the
rank
recordings they collected are.
That would actually make sense. If your reward for P ranking everything and beating that level is like terminal entry lore, it would make sense that the terminals are giving you that as a reward of sorts. That would track to me. Also, the theorized reason angels have no visible eyes except for providence is because angels are often called eyes of God, so it might mean that God does not want to see the things he has caused. I can see that. I'm not sure if the cause and effect directly follows, but that could be a reason. I could see that.
Battle data to create an infinite battle
that has
simulation.
One P rank. Hey, I don't even have one yet. We're getting there.
Infinite amounts of fighting without fear of death. The terminals gathered this much data before the extinction of humanity, so who knows how much data they've gathered by now. All of this data began to make humanity aware of the sentient machines they accidentally created with blood-fueled technology. But for now, we don't know what they did with this information. We'll have to wait for P-3 to get the conclusion to this part.
Yeah, wait for the full release. Tune in next time.
Ultrakill is a very simple game on the surface. You get a gun and you go shoot some enemies. But if you choose to dig
Okay, I think now that we're over on the outro, I think we're good on this. I think what we're going to do is we're going to play some now so that we can get some gameplay in this stream. And then we'll watch the other two videos afterwards. Does that work? Also, you can get out of here for now. Get some actual Ultrakill gameplay in here. The best P rank is V214. We're gonna just start with the first one, honestly. We's gonna just start with the first one. Isn't it better to watch the lore, to first watch the lore update and then play and then watch the speedrun? No, because I want to focus up for my own purposes. I gotta wake myself up, you know what I mean? One can only watch lore videos for so long before his reactions are no longer very interesting. Might not make it back till the end, so if I don't, I'll watch the VOD and I'll appreciate it. I appreciate it. Thank you for stopping by, Hollow. I'll see you around. Locked in on lore. Alright, we're gonna go on standard. We're gonna go back to the prelude. We've already gotten some A ranks in the prelude accidentally, just like the first time through. It took me 10 tries to P rank 1-4. We'll see. I mean, I'm sure it'll take... No, I don't want the full intro. I'm sure it'll take me a long time to P rank some of these, because I don't even remember what I'm doing exactly. Give me gun. Okay, let's get on with it. I also gotta remember the easiest way to kill lots of enemies. Oh, you lived. Also, I'm gonna need to switch my weapons around if I don't do this immediately. Hello? Thank you. Oh. Oh, I do need to kill all enemies for P ranks, don't I? Let me just restart this mission. Oh, you can't see it, my bad. Anyways, I'm restarting the mission. Oh, you guys still can't see it. What's going on with this? Hold on. Make sure OBS isn't also fucking up on me before I look back over, and it was. Where you at? There you are. Come on. There it goes. Okay. All non-secret enemies. Although, am I hearing correctly that you can kill secret enemies and like not kill a few non-secrets? Is that correct? Why do you guys take so long to kill? Move. Move. I will be doing things that way. Against these schmucks, yeah. You're gonna catch me using this method. Move.
Tab twice to see your stats.
Yeah, still not good at one punching. Move. Wait, can I not go that way? Oh, I can. Damn, that's really a shit jump, isn't it? I'm sure I can do that, I just fucked it up. In case you guys haven't figured it out, I'm not exactly a speedrunning savant here. I feel like we're still doing it right. Yeah, it's still only an A. Hit tab twice to see your stats. Oh, okay. You can if you miss one. Yeah, okay. Cool. Alright, obviously we gotta restart that level. I don't like that I go to the next level. Switch off weapons more often for more style. Yeah, for sure. No full intro, please. That... Oh, fuck, that turned me around. Never mind. Checkpoint me. Oh, yeah. So does checkpointing also reset the timer? No. Alright, then restart mission. I'm gonna go play Ultrakill 2, but I'm still in chat. You can pause during the end screen to restart the current level. Okay, you can pause during the end screen. Gotcha. So if you know... That makes sense. Hello? There we go. Oh, fuck off. I hate that. There we go. I wasn't too bad. Thank you for the follow. We gotta pee. Freudian. A Freudian slip. Plus tab twice in steps. I also noticed it doesn't start in the starting room. Okay. Okay. No, you can't have it back. It's mine. Alright, I want, you know, honestly, that's actually still not a bad loadout there. I don't know if I want the jack... Well, we're gonna start seeing worse enemies, so maybe the jackhammer's fine. I like that first. I never use the fucking rocket launcher because I'm bad at the game. I actually did. Okay, I did kill him. I'm not good at coin shots. I'm not good. I want to get good at coin shots, so I'm gonna try, but... Yeah, sometimes I forget I have access to that thing. It's not really where I want to be, but... Oh, you can't shoot his guys. Okay. Understood. Not quite enough style. Damn. Tung tung tung. I don't know that meme. I don't know well enough, man. I don't know if I've even seen the original of that meme. I don't know why I keep going down there. Yep. I didn't realize that one didn't fall down, actually. I wouldn't have jumped out there. I was actually safe there, but I didn't realize that. Got him. Damn, how am I still not getting enough style? I thought I was switching between weapons pretty well. I must need to get a couple of the guys that other guy hits. I wasn't quite cool enough. Furries help gain more style as well. Oh. What do you mean that didn't kill him? Get out of here. Does not taking damage help as well? It seems like it. It seems like not taking damage helps. Stand ready for my arrival, fuckers? Wait, what? Wait, typo, sorry? What did you typo? Yeah. It's really the style on this one, isn't it? What other options do I have besides, I guess, swapping out my shotgun for the normal version? Because the nail gun really doesn't make any sense to use on this level. Maybe I could use the attractor, and that would do alright. Wonder what the, there we go. We got there. Alright, there's our P rank. Second P rank, done. Always switch weapons that you use most in combat while not in combat to something else for the style bonuses. Okay, I see what you mean. Swap to some shit that I'm probably not going to use to start. Alright, let's get it. After this, hydrate. Thank you for the hydrate. Oh, I didn't realize I had friends. Aw. Get out of here. guys start with the down here, right? Or do you? Out of here. First try. You already have the shotgun, you don't need to go down there? Oh shit, did I just fight the extra dude for no reason? Shotgun for lesser enemies, especially in these easy levels, use the projectile boost explosions are also peak for style with multi-kills. Ooh, okay. Yeah, like switching to one normal shotgun, just especially in the early levels. I was considering maybe doing that, but I thought that there were more bigger enemies early. But I guess there aren't. There we go. So now we've got normal shotgun so that I can do a little bit of that. Yeah. Damn, not nearly enough style on that one. That one's one that really requires some style. Okay. Unless, is this not... No, that's definitely the end. Okay. Well, so I suggest you switch to green jackhammer to regular shotgun, because you can dash right as you fire it fully charged and avoid the explosion damage. So, like, you just pump it full and then just dash. Check your scoreboard more often. Okay. So you guys would suggest that I go... like this? Is your suggestion? And if I... well, while I'm here... if I go like that... okay, I see. Makes sense. Yeah. Let me add. There we go. Gotta go. Projectile boost for the filts. Well, we managed to make it work. That wasn't too bad. Okay, and this is Cerberus. I feel like I should be able to kill this dude without too much issue, not gonna lie. Well, let's get on with it then. Yahoo! That wasn't good enough, was it? No, it was not. I'm out of rolling papers. Do I walk to the store in the rain, or do I make a potato pie? How far are you walking? There's nothing else to fight in this level, right? Okay, good. I can restart. Like 5 minutes, but it's storming heavy right now. No umbrella? Yeah, you're making a good case for not going out. Let's move jumpstart up to 1 here. You can do a bunch of his HP if you set up a magnet or shoot cannonball at it, grab a cannonball back to parry it back at him. If you move to violent someday. Okay, once like you need that. I'm not very good at rocket riding, but I'll see what I can do. Get pounded, idiot. I'm not going straight to violent anything. Alright, well that's P rank. We've P ranked all of the opening act. It's much more fun if you love adrenaline more than you love yourself. Now, I go back and forth on that one. I'm gonna say that I probably love myself more. Okay, let's get it. Yeah, I know I can do the coin thing there. But we have to kill things. 3 more layers. Was there nothing in here? Was this place just the, There was no skull in here, was there? I gotta remember the, pathing one has to take. There was no skull in here, was there? No, there's just a secret up here. Okay. Cool. Bro forgot about his break. Are you P ranking Gabriel? I mean, I don't know. Maybe. Wait, what? Am I stupid? You can't launch a coin? Oh, it's this way. Okay, cool. We're gonna restart one more time because I feel like I need those seconds. This felt like a waste of seconds. Get over here. Go over there. I'm a bad shot. Not gonna stop me from smacking you away, though. Nice gun. hey guys. Let me through. Boom, first try again. Won't P ranking take the entire stream? Oh yeah, for sure. I'm just doing a few levels until I get to a hard one and I get fucked. If you want to do the secret level, I did the secret level last time, actually. I did the secret level last time. Eventually, I'm gonna get fucked up by a level, and I'm gonna stop for the day. And we'll go watch the rest of that lore video for Layer 8. I remember fucking hating this. Not because it was hard, because it was impossible to fucking find everyone. Please cease. This fucker. You, get over here, bitch. Damn, I'm mistiming those. There we go. So are we done yet? Am I allowed to leave? I know I'm not. How the fuck did I miss both of those shots? Get out of here. Can I leave these guys and come back when they spawn more? Is that an option? How the fuck did that saw blade miss that guy 3 times? Did I miss someone? No, we gotta go this way. And everything's on fire. Miss. Wait, that's a secret area. Don't need to do that. Bitch. Another one. Okay. We aren't going to complete all of Layer 1. Sorry for the ads over on Twitch. We aren't going to complete all of Layer 1 today. We're just going to go until, like, a layer starts to give me trouble. And then we'll just hop back over to watching the last couple of videos. If you want to do the secret challenge in the next room, go under the staircase. There should be a cracked wall. Break the wall, go ahead. Is that the level that has the, like, radioactive rat of death or whatever? With the coin and the shoot it in the air and the one shots the flames. I did see that just there when I did it. Okay, I've got I've done the radioactive rat and then the, like, super radioactive. Yeah, I've got that one. I'm toasty. Wait, where? Oh, from here. Gotta go in here. This level looks like it's gonna be a lot harder to S-rank. Damn, I'm bad at hitting those. There it goes. Oh, I gotta go get the fucking skull too, don't I? Okay. We're finally free of the bullshit. Go down the vent at the top, bro. My bad. You might get stuck on this one. It's hard for first-time P rankers. I would not. Okay. We'll see if I can, Yeah, I know I just took the long way, but we're already halfway back, so... Oh, that closed the door on their head? Oh, he got me. Soap on the roof of this room. Oh, I saw that. I actually got the soap, too. I've gotten that one, too. Alright, let's start over on the easy side just because, I haven't done this one in a while, so I actually don't remember how the fuck to do it. Damn, is Bro gonna die today? There we go. Hopefully that was everyone. I feel like I went the wrong way out. Okay. Okay, I did go the wrong way. I somehow got turned around in this area. Cool. Only get soap at the end because it'll slip from your hand if you punch with it. Do you need to end with the soap? Jumping over enemy spawn triggers? Did I actually? I guess we'll see, eh? Also, fucking hell. I feel like I did better on this side anyways. Oh, there's still one of you left. Sorry, I wasn't reading chat. I was busy fucking shit up. Also, now that you've started it, you're legally obligated to P-rank the entirety of Act 1. There's no way out of the... At this point, yeah, I'm probably gonna P-rank the shit. But not today. Not today. I've got one... I'll do one more level. We're gonna P-rank one more level. And then we're gonna watch the content that we have left to watch. And then we'll be good for today. Because we usually play 2 to 3 hours. We're right around the 2.5 hour mark. We're gonna be pushing it towards the 3 at that point. I think that's fair. We got one more in us. Sadly, you can't P-rank V2 with the... Oh god, is this the V... No, this isn't... Oh shit, this is V2. Okay, we'll see what we can do. Alright, we're gonna put the screwdriver back on top for 4th. Now what I do know of is this. And I don't believe there's any other fights, so this should be fine, yeah? What's up, bro? This is the problem I have with V2 is I actually have trouble fucking hitting him. You can rocket spam in one place, then hit them all into V2 with the jackhammer for crazy damage if done right. Use saws and coins. Okay. Oh, I set him off. I accidentally counted. Wait, if I parry my own shit into him, he also goes sicko mode? How do you miss a cannonball? Did that actually not hit? I have no... I'll be legit. I don't know that I've ever really used the cannonball gun. So if you right-click, you charge it. Gotcha. Virtue. Wait, no. Providence. What about him? Obviously, that's not going to do shit for damage. That was kind of lame. Well, that wasn't too bad at all. That wasn't the worst I've ever done. Whatever you do, don't go back and watch my first VOD of me fighting this guy. I was like, I had died like one time up until this point, the first time through the game, and this guy killed me like 25 times. Alright. We got through 9 of those. I think that was 9 of them. P-rank all this. P-rank all this. Yep, we're at 9. And you know, as we go further, these are gonna get harder and harder. I'm sure. Like, shit, man. I can't even imagine P-ranking anything in Fraud. Interestingly, I got an A in the final flight. Maybe I could P-rank 8-4. I could probably P-rank 8-4. Double tap. Oh, the HP and weapon UI. Maybe it's in the settings, yeah, because those have always been on for me. I haven't needed to do anything to turn those on. For the time and stuff, it's double tap tab. Don't attempt it. Okay. Do not try to B-rank 8-3. That's... Dude, this level alone took me an hour the first time. And I'm sure there's plenty of times that you get like 80% of the way through this shit, and then you like glitch out of the map or something, and you're just... Because I glitched out of the map like 5 times in that level alone, just the first time I played it. So we'll see about Act 3 at some later date, maybe when the game fully comes out. Even S-rank or P-ranking Act 2 is probably going to be tough for me. But I think we can do Act 1. I think we can do Act 1. Alright, let's hop back over to our explaining lore videos. We've got 2 more. We've got explaining the lore of Fraud, and then we've got a world record speedrun thing going on here. So we're gonna peek both of these. Let me make sure the game audio switches back over to what we need. Just past Act 1, Gabriel is cool. Gabriel's a very fun character. Are you playing through for the first time, Average? Or Animator, or whichever you want me to call you? Animator, I guess? Probably, I don't want to just call you Average, that doesn't sound right. Are you playing through for the first time, or your first time P-ranking him? Average? Okay, Average works then. Has Fraud been out for a month? It must be coming up on that. Fraud must be close to a month old, because I've been streaming this like once a week for the last 3 or 4 weeks. Yeah, February 24th. It's been out for 5 weeks, guys. All right, let's watch some video. So once again, this is Linguini and Lasagna is the name of this
Lore from
channel.
God to the new piece to Archangels.
We just watched here, I'll back it up. We just watched the full like level floors 1 to 7 earlier in the stream. We watched floors 1 to 7, or layers 1 to 7 rather, lore video, and there's another one for floor 8 or layer 8. I don't know why I call them floors, they're layers. I refunded the first time because I thought it at some point it was boring, but then I thought about it and didn't know there was a sandbox, so I bought it back. I've been having a lot of fun with it. I'm glad it was recommended to me. I bought it on sale, so that made it feel a little less oof ouch.
Fraud has come with a ton interesting lore.
All right.
God to the new piece to Archangels. The only problem, this stuff is confusing as hell. Wait a minute, I've spent a lot of hours reading flavor text and talking with people from the Ultrakill Discord, who've been a huge help, by the way. Thanks, guys. And I hope to catch you up to speed with everything new in Fraud.
I'm interested in these people.
Fraud is only a week or so old. Things will change.
Lies.
New interpretations
It's now a month old.
will be made, and odd ones will fall off. Don't take this video.
Alright, I'll see you around, Crit. The video is very quiet. Is the video very quiet this time around? Here, I'll turn it up for y'all then. I gotta remind myself to turn it back down after, but there we go. Perhaps.
God is often a being of such unimaginable power and scale that it's
I think this
considered
audio is
to
just
be
generally
from
quieter
many
than last time.
religions. Not an Ultrakill though. Here he is.
How's that?
While, yes, this is the Fraud layer, and yes, this is a depiction of God in hell, it's frankly a bit boring to just assume this is some kind of fake depiction of God. I think it's a lot more interesting to assume that this is in fact what God looked like, and to delve into that.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm going to do. If this is truly a physical depiction of God, then that implies that God was some sort of physical being at some point. If God is a physical being, then he is perhaps bound somehow by the laws of the universe, which would explain why he isn't all-powerful.
Yeah, he isn't all-powerful, we've seen that.
Because he can't unmake hell. He isn't all-powerful because he's limited by the physical fact that he's in this universe. He isn't all-powerful because he couldn't kill himself.
Damn.
God has immense power, as shown by him sculpting the earth, his creation of heaven and hell, humanity, and the angels. But he's not infinite. He has limits. He looks human. He is flawed.
I don't know about human, but like,
well,
yeah. He has form.
Vaguely human.
Yeah, okay.
His strange, half-melted, goopy appearance is hard to ignore. Why does God look like that? Right now, I don't have any good answers. But I think this will be a very interesting thing to follow as time goes on and new things are discovered about the lore of this layer. After his creation of hell, Lucifer asked him why he did it. He asked God whether eternal suffering and torment was a just punishment for sinners on earth.
Hell
God,
no.
in a moment of weakness, cast Lucifer down into hell, and upon realizing what he did, immediately regretted it. Lucifer was one of the archangels of heaven.
That's funny. Honestly, that's so funny. He's like, bro, does that really seem just? And he's like, why don't you go fucking find out? And then he throws him down there and he's like, did I go too far? Hey guys, did I chat? Was that too much?
And is very likely the Archangel scratched out of the painting in 8-1. People have restored the scratched out name card to say Lucifer, God's kindness. Speaking of Lucifer, Hell mentions Lucifer by name in one of the Hell books, the second time he's mentioned in the game.
Oh, we read this
He is
one.
mentioned as Lucifer, my love. I shall gift you all the agonies that can exist, and many that cannot. Perhaps Hell took such a liking to Lucifer because he's such a high archangel, cast down to be tormented at Hell's will, and such an opportunity Hell couldn't pass.
So Hell is like
The
an
reason
entity.
Hell is so infatuated with Lucifer isn't exactly clear. In fact, the Hell books in this layer in general aren't clear at all.
Yo,
That's clearly by
that's good,
design.
bees.
I really wrote that. Wow. These books are supposed to be interpreted in many different ways, I think.
Yeah.
And for that reason, I'm not going to delve into them.
Oh,
Instead,
alrighty
I
then.
highly encourage you to check them out and come up with your own interpretations.
That's fair.
Leave them in the comments if you'd like. I think that would be really interesting to
I gotta
read.
go find the
Also,
rest of the books,
subscribe.
Whoa. Alright, I'm interested in these
is
guys.
a picturesque recreation of the new piece. However, it's full of illusions, non-Euclidean geometry, and moving everything. Exposure to the funky nature of fraud causes souls to lose all sensory information and idea of what physical space they're in. The nature of fraud means that...
You know, I really liked this boss. Oh fuck, reaction content? Yeah, somebody suggested that I, like, delve into the lore of Ultrakill, and so I figured I might as well do it on stream. We've done a lot of it today, actually. We're almost done reacting to the content. I really liked this boss. I think that they're, like it wasn't like a 10 out of 10 boss. It felt like an 8 out of 10 boss with like a 10 out of 10 gameplay loop. I love that it became like invisible and you had to see it through the mirror. Yes, yeet. Rude. The pipe drop.
almost nothing is known about it. Not even how it punishes its sinners is known. The Mirror Reaper is the exception to this. It seems like it's several husks mashed together in a deliberate fashion that exists within reflections. This is the only example known of the Mirror Reaper, and any conclusions drawn from it about the fate of other sinners in fraud should be
insert pipe audio here.
taken with a heavy hand of salt. Before anyone comments about Mirror Reapers existing as Cybergrind, meaning that there must be more than one, Cybergrind is an artificial space created by the terminals so they can watch V1 fight forever for entertainment. I know that's confusing.
That is confusing.
So here's a TLDR. The terminals are sentient.
Yes.
And they're bored.
Yes.
They watch V1 fight for entertainment, and that's what the style meter is. They have enough data to create the Cybergrind, or infinite
Minecraft.
entertainment. Anyway, tangent over. Cybergrind Mirror Reapers are not real. There's only one known Mirror Reaper in Hell.
And we kill
The
it.
Mirror Reaper in 8.2 is clearly shown to be messing with V1, with it puppeting a fake V1 in the mirrors. And when I say puppeted, I mean puppeted.
Yeah, you can see the
It
strings.
literally is holding V1 on strings. Now this can lead people to assume that
that's
every
fun.
V1 reflection is some sort of Mirror Reaper.
Who you killing,
more
DJ?
likely-
Oh, we killed plenty of people today. Right now, we're not killing anyone. We're letting this guy yap and tell us about the lore of this game that's way too deep for me to find it all on my own because I'm not good at it.
These are just a reflection. You might be thinking, however, what about the Secret Ferryman encounter? One of those behaves like the Mirror Reaper and is only visible in the mirror. Great question. I had the exact same question, and I wish there was a more interesting answer. But I asked Ultrakill Discord, and they basically said, it's just a cool mechanic for a cool
Rule of
boss,
cool,
and
baby.
there's no implications.
It was a cool
Death
fight.
catchers are clearly inspired by idols. It's said that distant eyes, heavily implied
How
to
you
be
doing,
hell,
Hastana?
watched the formation of idols with fascination
Hastana?
and attempted
I've
to
asked that
recreate
question
it in
before.
its
Which
own
is
way.
it?
However, The malice the creator, again, likely hell, seeped into the Deathcatcher, caused it to crack open, and it formed the shape that we see in-game. Unlike the idol, Deathcatchers can't protect people. They attempt to do so, but can only form weaker beings similar to the originals, but not the same.
Doesn't really protect them so much as respawn them,
it
kind of.
It pretends that these things are still alive and they can still be saved, when in reality, it's far too late. Guryon has been around for millennia, which is a very rare moment where a time scale is actually
as far
given
as we
for
know.
how long something in hell has been around. It's described as a failed experiment by an unknown force, again, heavily implied to be hell. It was made in an attempt to make a being with several consciousnesses in one. However, none of the people in Guryon can communicate with each other in any way whatsoever.
So it's
over
a bunch
time,
of
they've learned
pieces.
to work together to achieve their goal of hunting as efficiently as possible.
Interesting.
Despite the limitations of their
They
body.
can't communicate, but they're
Its
trying to
hunting
figure
is
it
of
out
interest,
anyways.
Because unlike other demons, it doesn't hunt for sport. Rather, it seemingly hunts to free sinners from their suffering, and it uses its bow to achieve this.
That's
It can
curious.
be implied that Leviathan is a successful attempt at creating something like Guryon, since Leviathan is formed from all the sinners in Wrath who give up trying to stay
Bro,
afloat
I forgot
with
about that
Sticks
fight.
and sink to the bottom, implying that perhaps
Does that mean
Hell
it was
can
the
learn
worst
from its
fight?
mistakes. It is a sentient being after all. After Gabriel's
What's the
massacre of
least
the Council
interesting
of Heaven
boss
and
fight for you
sudden
guys?
disappearance, Heaven has been thrown to the brink of civil war. The Providences are the fastest of the lesser angels, and as such they have been sent to attempt to find him. Because of how important this is, they have been granted the rare right of keeping their vision while in hell,
He gets to
breaking
see.
a sacred oath angels made to God after an unknown incident. While the incident is unknown, there are several possible reasons as to why God might have forbade the angels from witnessing hell. It's known that God is deeply ashamed of hell and wishes he could
He
unmake
just doesn't
what
want
he has
anyone
made.
to see it.
And
Interesting.
perhaps it's simply the shame of its creation that caused him to forbid angels from looking upon it.
Corpse on
Perhaps
Minos.
God
Hey,
only
you know what?
forbade
You're not
angels
wrong
from
about
witnessing
that. I
hell
did beat that first
after
try.
he cast Lucifer down to hell in his moment of weakness. The action racking his conscience so hard, he decided no angel should look at what he has done. We can only speculate as to why the angels weren't allowed to see him.
Bro got successfully
Providence's
rage
bodies
baited and then
are
was
made
ashamed
of
of it.
pure light, which means their exact shape can't be determined. In
Huh.
fact, it would blind a human if they witnessed it. But V1's cameras seem to be able to make it out in at least some form. Their speed means even V1 isn't fast enough to whiplash them or dodge their beam attacks. And
I
I'm
got
not
away
just
with
saying
it
that
once
to
or
glaze
twice.
V1. The terminal explicitly mentions even the V models aren't fast enough. Ours are angels that were so inspired by Gabriel's light, they decided to become his disciples. They're ashamed of their incomplete bodies with them missing an arm and only having one wing.
One wing,
So
yeah.
they carry around with them a useless golden arm to make themselves feel more similar to the archangels they look
curious.
up to. Gabriel stuck to the older, simpler designs with his armor,
That's
while
true.
Heaven trended towards more glamorous and
I don't even
ornate
remember if I did
designs.
that during my
Powers followed Gabriel in his simplicity,
fight.
but without his presence with him becoming the judge of hell, the powers slowly began adopting the vanity of Heaven. They sound feminine to humans, but they
Yeah.
have no gender.
Yeah, they seem
However,
like the powers seem like they definitely aren't Gabriel. You know what I mean? I guess that's why they're his disciples and they ain't him. You know what I mean? Nobody can be Gabriel except Gabriel. Goated.
Masculine language is used as a sign of respect in Heaven, as a sign of their closeness to the Father. The powers are trained under Gabriel, and they fight incredibly similarly to him. However, they're inexperienced in combat, requiring them to vocalize their attacks to manifest them correctly,
Just got
and they become
air juggle?
entirely disabled upon being parried, leading them to become enraged out of shame. Powers take turns fighting in groups, not only to avoid friendly fire, but also to make it clear who gets the glory of the kill, which could imply
interesting
some of
lore,
Heaven's vanity
actually.
being shown through the powers.
They come at you like a martial arts movie one
the
at a
fraud
time.
layer is described as a depiction of the new piece, and this is shown with the town in 8.1 and the office layers in 8.2. There are some books that give us a ton of insight into the early stages of the new piece. After the fall of the Earth Movers, there was little resources. Despite this,
I have read this one.
Humanity put aside their differences and worked together to take advantage of the opportunity
This is
caused by the
piece,
shutdown
right?
of the Earth Movers after the long night. We see a new Earth Mover named 15HKUR, which was once the Earth Mover the author of the book called Home, and implies that the Earth Movers were roaming the Earth for a century. This is the only mention of the kind of timescale that the Earth Movers were on the planet for, so I'm going to take it with a grain of salt.
Huh.
The people of 15HKUR have established...
Well, wait, if they've been around for 100 years, does that mean they have to have been around for 100 years of the Great War? Or can it be like 100 years, like, 50 years at the end of the war, and then also 50 years of the peace afterwards? Or did the Earth Movers die when the peace came around? I don't think so, right? Because that was written at a time... Pretty sure the new piece was pretty short. Okay. That book was written in the new piece, though. Because I'm pretty sure that lore was talking about how they were meeting up with other Earth Movers. Also, this shows V1 because it says other info unimportant. Yeah, I love that V1's just like, yeah, the rest of that shit don't matter. V1 is sentient. Yeah, he can determine what's necessary, what's relevant, and what's not.
Communications with 4 other communities of former Earthmover inhabitants, and through communication and small blood donations, were able to reconstruct 15HKUR's tracking system that it used to track Earthmovers across the globe during the war. Using the tracking system and a map from the era of countries, which implies the final war in the new piece has made nations irrelevant, they have sent people out to attempt to contact nearby communities and survivors. There's a panel in the offices of 8-2 showing the different blood operating systems used by the blood-powered machinery. Smile OS 1.0 was the first blood-powered machine operating system. One person can fuel these without sustaining any real side effects, meaning they need a very small amount of blood to run, but the problem is they're very awkward and limited in their use. Blood is a scarce resource in the new piece, implied by how Smile OS is recommended to be used wherever possible, despite its shortcomings. Smile OS 2 is the more advanced pre-automaton machinery, implying that it's probably pre-Gutterman, since that's the first automaton that we're aware of. These machines are much more capable than Smile OS 1, but they
so
need
there
a
was
lot more
blood tech before the war. That's curious.
Small populations of people. Due to the scarcity of blood, these machines require a permit to use in the new piece. Finally,
and of course there's red tape.
Systems.
Typical government.
These, other than that they are wartime systems.
I should be allowed to use my blood and the blood of my family as I see fit.
And they require
I want to power my computer with it.
Beings to sustain themselves. They are self-adaptive.
That's my right.
With unknown limits, and should never be used. As an aside, the image used for the Nocturnal system is very similar to the V1 in the title screen. While we don't know exactly what machines are using Nocturnal, the combination of wartime machinery, active blood harvesting, unknown limits, and a seemingly total ban on any new Nocturnal machines in the new piece, it can be inferred that most wartime machines are probably on Nocturnal systems. And if that turns out to not be the case, at the very least, V1
we know we are
almost definitely on a Nocturnal system. Perhaps they have been named Nocturnal systems rather than Smile OS 3.0 due to the long night, and they're to never be used again, not only because of their high blood cost, but the fact that they caused the final war to get so out of hand, and nobody wants to run the risk of repeating that. I think that this is a very interesting little thing to speculate about. The new piece's resource scarcity is continued to be shown by the supermarket section in 8.2, with several posters telling people to be respectful of how much food they take and to repair their clothes before buying meals, showing that yes, the final war is over, but no,
it is linguine and lasagna. Yes, that is correct.
Yet. Things are still
that is the channel.
In the new piece. Everything isn't perfect. There's a panel in the offices that shows the words extinct animal.
Bro put a lot of work into this.
humanity.
Y'all should go check
after
out
the
his
final
other
war,
stuff. I don't know if he
managed
only
to
makes
successfully
Ultrakill
clone
content,
pigs and cows.
but this
Pre-war
Ultrakill
animals
content's pretty
that
good.
presumably went extinct during the war. Another Earthmover community, MO200OS, also Moose, managed to clone a pig.
True. They weren't
Forced
greedy.
people to do
Well,
so.
then they don't need the
The
sign.
meat produced from these animals is said to be limited, and people are apprehensive about eating it since it's been so long since meat was a thing people had in their diets.
People forgot what meat tasted like. That's wild.
So more archangels got revealed in Fraud. We have Gabriel, Michael, Anu, Raphael, and probably
Okay.
Lucifer. Each
Makes
archangel
Ultrakill
has their
videos
own
work.
color, and each one their own virtue. Michael
Mhm.
has wisdom, Raphael has strength, Gabriel has will, Manuel has patience, and Lucifer kindness.
Together they make one D&D character. The gameplay is so cool though. That their gameplay. Oh, are they like super duper good at the game? They would have to be, right? They would have to be good at the game if they put in this much work into lore videos.
We see colored hook points for each of these angels too. Blue for will, green for patience, pink for strength, and yellow for wisdom. I think it's very, very interesting that after Gabriel slimed the entire council of heaven, someone was able to give the command to send the powers and the providences down to hell. Much more interesting, give them the command to defy God's will and keep their sight. The only thing with that kind of authority left in heaven must be an archangel, no?
So it must
What
be
else
one
could
of the
it be?
others. Yeah.
The council is dead. This implies that the death of the council didn't include the death of the archangels. The fact that Gabriel
Jesus.
answered to the council is also
I barely have
very
30 hours
interesting.
in the game.
Why would an archangel,
I don't even know if I
God's
have that
will,
much.
be subservient to a council of, presumably,
Oh, I only have 12.
not archangels? It must have been set up by someone with equal or perhaps even greater authority than Gabriel. Only candidate that makes sense in my eyes is another archangel ordered the creation of the council. Now, we are deep into speculation territory at this point,
All right,
and I'm going to go a little bit further.
Hit me with it.
My little idea is perhaps Michael is the one to create the council.
Okay.
Michael looks very similar to the council. In fact, his design we see in game is based off of old fan art for the council from the
Okay.
Act 1 ending. Michael
Maybe.
might potentially be the one who set up the council. Definitely food for thought at the very least.
Possibly. I think I've got a few hundred. That's
I
still
want
a
to briefly
solid
mention-
amount. In the lore, powers were half-formed angels, but were embarrassed because their form never fully completed, so they hide themselves in armor. Yeah, and they got the fake arm going on. Yeah, he talked about that for a second there.
Ulysses, as he is mentioned in the other Hellbook of this layer. Ulysses is another name for Odysseus, the king of Ithaca, which was also mentioned in one of the Hellbooks.
Okay.
This is notable because Odysseus was a Greek king, like
Yeah.
Minos and Sisyphus were the kings of lust and greed respectively.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this can lead people to assume that he might be the third prime soul, but I don't think that's very likely. Several reasons. There's very little time left in the game to really build up Odysseus as a character, and number two is the main reason people don't believe Lucifer Prime is going to be a...
So I will say, the last 2 levels of the game could be very long. The levels have been getting longer as you go. Odysseus, I mean, for anyone who's read the Odyssey, it was a rather long journey. I wouldn't be surprised if the final 2 levels are like super duper 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 long if they are related to Odysseus. That being said, they are speculating about this here. He doesn't think it will be. I could definitely see that still being the case, considering how long Fraud was. Yeah, exactly. And the Odyssey is like a canonically long story, so if they're only going to put 2 levels in the final layer, they're probably going to be banger levels, right?
thing? There's 2 reasons. A fake screenshot of Hikita saying that there'll be no Lucifer in the game, and a very easily misunderstood screenshot from Hikita suggesting that angels don't have souls, and when they die, they just disappear. Very easy to misinterpret, and that it is entirely possible Lucifer could become a prime soul.
Now let's really dig into this screenshot because it is
Could
very
be,
easily
could be
misinterpreted.
Lucifer.
It says that people are the exception to getting an afterlife, but that is a one-time thing. When a demon or an angel or a machine dies, they're gone.
Yeah.
When a person dies, their soul is placed in either heaven or hell, and if they die after that, they're gone. Minos and Sisyphus both died, went to hell, and then were killed again by Gabriel.
But did not
but
die.
still became prime souls. So if Lucifer can't become a prime
it's still
soul,
on the
because
table.
when they die, they just disappear. Minos and Sisyphus can't become prime souls, because when they died a second time in hell, they just disappeared. Do you see the issue here? With all of this being said, it is very important to mention that these screenshots are many years old.
Yeah.
And we shouldn't take several years.
Bro can just change the shit, man. It's been 4 years. They can do that.
Can change. I'm not saying that either Lucifer or Odysseus will be the...
Bro, if I was making a game and my Discord messages from 4 years prior were assumed to be canon, I'd be a little bit annoyed. Like, maybe that's still the case, but like, it's...
next prime soul, because we can't confirm anything for certain. But I will say, if it does end up being one of these two, my money's on Lucifer.
Okay.
And that's probably all of the big things Fraud added. Now, don't get me wrong, there is a ton of little things as well, and many, many more things if you want to sink your teeth into the truly obscure lore.
Yeah, I'm
this
gonna
game
have to
has
go
offer.
read some more of that lore.
But this video is intended to catch you up to speed with the wider story of the game, and to generally share stuff that I think is interesting.
God, that's
If this
such a
did, in fact,
disorienting
interest
fight.
me,
I remember
would
fighting that last
highly
week.
recommend you go deeper and try finding out more about this game's lore. You never know. Maybe you'll be the one to come up with the next big theory. Thanks for watching.
Cheers. All right. So that was Linguini and Lasagna. Once again, go check them out if you like that. I mean, their lore videos have been pretty good so far. The last thing we're gonna watch today, because I think we're done with the actual gameplay. We P-ranked all of the Prelude in Act 1. That wasn't too bad at all. We got a solid hour of gameplay in there. We're gonna watch a speed run from Prelude all the way to Fraud. Which is probably gonna be a little bit louder. God damn. Okay. Speedruns are already insane. Oh yeah. A little bit of a glitch, but that's to be expected. This is not glitchless. He found a way to get out of the map. He, like, looks like he rocket rides. Blasts himself into the bottom of the end piece. The end tunnel. Gives himself a bunch of speed boosts, I guess. You can tell that if he's ever fighting a boss, it's because you have to. You know what I mean? Like speedrunners wouldn't fight any bosses if they didn't have to. What's that weapon he's got there? Is that the alternate cannon or something? It was like, looks like it's spraying water or something. Red rocket launcher. Okay. Oh, that's the flamethrower. Okay. He's oil slicking himself. Gotcha. So to be clear, this is not tool assisted. This guy is just goated, Jesus. What is, does anybody know off the top what the TAS for this game is? Yeah, but sometimes TAS also have, like, the button presses. I just had to be sure. 16 seconds is wild. There isn't a TAS for Ultrakill. Oh, okay. It'd be interesting to see because of just the sheer amount of work that would have to go into The sheer amount of work that would need to go into, like, setting up a TAS for, like, imagine 8.3, right? 8.2, 8.3. Bro got obliterated. Alright, Hollow, I'll see you around. Hopefully I can finish this without getting motion sick. Bro's dead before he even spawns in. Okay, we're already in layer 2. So he did in this 3 minutes, he did like pretty much what we spent the whole stream doing. Although to be fair, we were P ranking. He's quite clearly not. He's even got exactly the weapons he wants to use to like do certain glitches with the least clicks possible. Glitching through doors and stuff. This reminds me of like Mario speed, certain Mario speedruns, where you've got like, you know, obviously this is much faster paced, but that's sort of like, they've discovered 1,350 glitches that you have to use all in perfect succession. And if you do, you can like skip an entire segment. Like this. Bro just decided he wants to kill the King of Minos before the fight even starts. Fuck out of here. Okay, you know what I'm most interested in? I'm most interested in some of the later layers. Like, what does he do? What does he do up here? I figured it'd be a lot of sailing across the open water because there's a lot of spots where you can do that. Skipping the video? Sorry, I don't want to get motion sick and I can tell I will. Like, I could never do this. I would genuinely get motion sick on like my second attempt. This man's just trying to make it worse for me too. Tosses him a coin. Doesn't even bother waiting for the door to open or anything. Bro's just like, nah, I'm gonna skip through that anyways. I hope you understand that, I'm skipping as little as I can. I see there's a couple people over there who've gotten faster times than that. You skipped Gabriel? You know what, you are right about that. I will go back for Gabriel. Which one is, where does Gabriel show up? He's end of Act 1? Yeah, okay, here we go. Here we are, here we are. Is he just doing the fucking coin shit again. Yup. Dude is dead in like 2 seconds flat. That's wild, that's wild. Okay. Where were we? I think we were, yeah. Why is this the most rewatched part? Alright, focus up. Some weird shit happens here. He's like animation canceling his shotgun blasts. So what difficulty is he on here? I assume he's on normal? Or is he on, violent? Okay. Is violent what you have to play on for, speedruns? Harmless is actually preferred. Oh, okay. He just played it on violent for the fuck of it? That is pretty wild.
Come to me.
I like the charge shot on all the coins. That's pretty good. I might actually be able to use something like that if I know that there's a fight room coming up. That seems like a very doable tech. What's up, Smoker? Did you want to watch this speedrun world record time for me? Come on. Okay, that tech is a little less doable for me.
Break you apart. Slay the
Bro is keeping the coins in the air
I will grind you down until the very
while Gabriel monologues.
my hands shall relic, ending you here and now.
Yeah. Ooh. I saw that. He missed that. He missed that. L. Why did he restart that? I guess so that a certain thing spawns a certain way. Or maybe it doesn't fully... He fucked his slam up. Okay. So he actually did fuck up. That wasn't like an intentional thing that he did. What's up, Smokers? I'll get you some food right after stream. I'm pretty sure he already has some food out there. So I'll get him some. He's a good guy. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. He's made multiple mistakes this run, is far from perfect even if it is the current. Yeah, I mean, when you've got to do like literally 3,000 inputs on perfect timings. He's like literally switching his weapons to the right types. I can see him pressing the number keys as he falls in. He's switching his weapons to the right types pre-level, right? What kind of speedrun bullshit? That's what I'm saying. We're watching a speedrun world record of this shit right now. Here at the end of the stream. Speedrun bullshit is right. Oh, you guys got ads? Fuck, hold on. Okay, we'll stall. Quick, let's stall. How you doing? Femboy of Lust. I didn't catch that username missed me before. How you doing? What's good? Or are you also getting ads? I wish I could just cancel the damn ads, man. I hate when they show up after I've snoozed them and I forget about them. It's rough. It's rough. Here, we're just gonna pretend like we're so... oh. That way people think something interesting is going on, when really I'm just stalling for the ads. Full? Okay. Sounds good. What's up? I assume you've played some Ultrakill before? Just last week we finished getting through Fraud for the first time. And now we've started the clusterfuck that is going to be P ranks. Come on. Get up here, Fuzzums. Come on. Yeah. Here. Cat cam. Cat cam. Yeah. Did you want some food? Is that what you want? That's what he wants. It's always what he wants. Either that or outside. Even though he's an indoor cat, he still wants outside. Alright, let's continue the speed run now since ads are finishing up soon. We don't want people to miss this. Is this actually... Hold on, this said through Fraud up until Fraud, but this is including Fraud? It looks like it's including Fraud. What a clusterfuck they're on. Oh, he did 7 secret level? Why? Oh, is it faster to do the secret level than to finish all of 7-3? Is that what it's about? Only a little slower than what I used to do? I can't tell if you're being facetious or if you're genuinely like a hardcore speedrunner. Okay, you're joking. Okay. Well, you never know. You never know. Maybe you're like really good at this game. Don't worry, Logan. We delayed for like 2 minutes for you. So you barely missed anything. My time on the Earth Mover is faster though. Oh wow, that's wild. I'm just happy to have P-ranked something. Jesus. How do you even do that? I guess if you could just teleport into the boss arena and blow it up and then teleport back out. Sorta. Getting through Fraud in 20 seconds is wild. Whoa. Oh, and now he's on the boss. Okay, that was quite the skip. I have to assume that the skip for 8-3 is also going to involve just sneaking out of the map. That's what it's been so far. People are going to get better at Fraud as time goes on, but I'm going to assume a lot of why his world record is really good right now, despite the fuck-ups, is because he got good at Fraud fast. Technically the run wasn't even valid because I used a mod, even though the mod is just one that makes V1 instantly enemies and kills. That's unfortunate. Are there speedrun categories for just like each level as well? It seems like the kind of game that would have that, since it's a very speedrun focused game. Not exactly, but like it's... There is, okay. So it is actually kind of unfortunate that your time doesn't count. Also each layer, yeah. did alright against this fight. I almost first tried it. That would have been sick. I didn't, but I almost did. I wonder if you could burst him better if he had actually tried to counter that first set of them. And he actually S ranks 8-4, that's wild. Oh, he restarted one. Oh yeah, he did restart once, okay. Mr. Rail Cannon shit. Yeah, there you go. What's the best time? Someone did this in 32. If you could do this in 32, yeah. This world record's definitely gonna get beat. It's just a matter of how long it takes to find someone consistent enough to do this. You going for long? Actually, we're just about to raid out. We're gonna find someone else who is playing Ultrakill, and we're gonna raid out to them because I think that is a good place to stop. We watched the lore videos, we P-ranked 2 layers. Feels like we're doing alright. It was a good stream. Thank you for the idea to react to some of that content. Once again, you should go check out that guy's channel. Bro looks like Geodude? Who? The enemy? Yeah, maybe. Also, one more time, cat. Oh, he's here. Yeah. This guy has a ton of world records. Oh yeah. He seems very, very consistent, so let us see what we can find in Ultrakill. Ultrakill category. Hey, it's us. Weird being in the top row, although I will say there aren't a ton of people streaming it right now. What's Hatsune Miku doing streaming this game? In Russian. Maelstrom the Demon. Let's peek in here real quick. See what's up with this. What's going on? Is this guy cool? Not the pre-rolls. Ugh. Mokers. Riceball the biggest fan? Nah, I'm the biggest fan of my cat. There is no bigger fan of my cat than me. You cannot have that title. Ultrakill is a huge hit right now in Russia. I don't know why. They do like their shooters. Okay, let's peek this. He's playing some hard-ass music. I mean, he is locked the fuck in. Okay, we can raid this guy. This seems cool. I could vibe with that. I'm a head out. But, nice talking to y'all. Hell yeah. Jump in the raid and then feel free to jump out right after. But thank you all for stopping by. We's gonna raid. And I will see you guys tomorrow for, I believe it's Slay the Spire 2 we'll be playing tomorrow. So something a little more chill. And I'll see you guys then. Peace out.
I wanna dance with you in the morning.